So I welcome all of you. So I welcome all of you to this session of essay orientation program. Yeah, good evening, Vikas. Good evening, Amritansu. Good evening, Amrin. Good evening, Nishant, Ruchi, Anmol.
मेरा वीडियो तो ऑफ है ना और ऑडियो
Yeah, good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. So shall we then proceed? And I believe that all of you have already written the test. In fact, the essay paper. Vikas, I think you have submitted the paper just a little while ago. So it was not possible for me to go through your entire paper. I believe that after this session, I'll be able to go through your script. Fine. So now, first of all, before proceeding for this session, I would like to actually know from, all of you, exactly your experience with the essay paper and the kind of difficulties or issues that all of you, or rather some of you, had faced while writing the essay. So let us first of all have this interaction between all of you to know from your perspective only what actually is the exact challenge, and then I'll share with all of you my take upon the issue of essay writing. So one by one, if you can come out with your experience, I'll start with, let's say, Amritansu. So Amritansu, you can unmute yourself, you can speak out. You can, of course, share your experience with all of us that what actually was the issue while writing an essay. And I believe that you already have gone through your script. I have already evaluated your script. So you must have an idea that where were you lacking, and probably what all challenges did you face while you started writing this particular paper of essay. So Amritansu, yes. Now I'm handing over mic to you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Sir, I think that I don't have problem in content, but while correcting the paragraphs, that correction was not established in my paragraphs according to your feedback also. So I face challenge in establishing those characters kind of thing. Correcting the dots, that kind of thing was missing in my essay, I think.
Okay, fine. Then Vikas, you can share your experience.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah.
Sir, last time what happened was that I was not able to balance both the essays, sir.
Okay.
Like I wrote the first essay in 2 hours, and then only 1 hour was left for the second essay. Secondly, sir, the scope of the philosophical essays, sir, like what all dimensions we need to cover, and where we should stop. So that is the problem which I have.
Okay. Fine. So we'll discuss that also. All right. So Amrin, can you share your experience?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm audible.
You're audible. Go ahead.
Sir, actually, मैंने अभी तक कोई भी ऐसे लिखा नहीं honestly. So मतलब how to write, how to start ऐसे I don't know. So कैसे पैराग्राफ को connect करना है and all that.
So you have not written the essay till now. Yeah. Okay. Nishant. Yes.
Sir, even I have not attempted yet, sir.
I didn't see your script also. Okay. Fine. So let's listen this session, hear out it thoroughly. Probably you will be having some enriching experience to write the essay.
Sir,
Okay.
I need to ask one thing.
Uh-huh.
What about the technical issues you face?
Acha.
This is the main thing. Means this time we are at our place and we are conducting this test
But
series. How was the experience?
in online, the issues like, I mean, downloading, uploading, etc. I mean, probably there may have been some issue, I think. Okay, so let us keep it to have a, I mean, separate discussion on this. Okay, so Ruchi, can you share your experience?
हेलो
हाँ रुचि बताइए.
सर मेरा टेस्ट अभी निखिल सर ने चेक किया था और उनका मेरा फीडबैक उनका आया था मेरे पास मैसेज कि तुमने एक ही ऐसे सबमिट किया है. देन आई हैव टोल्ड हिम कि इट वाज माय फर्स्ट एवर ऐसे आई हैव रिटन फॉर यूपीएससी व्हाइल प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर यूपीएससी.
अच्छा.
So I was totally blank, but then I tried my level best to incorporate everything from all the blog posts and everything whichever I have read. But then I still believe that I was, amateur. I am still an amateur writer and I don't know how to put things in perspectives, how to connect the flow, how to introduce what actually, the basic problem I faced was that initially the first thought which should come in my mind while reading the topic, and then how to organize it, and organization part was missing in my writing style. So that's what the basic problem I was facing.
Okay. ठीक है, ठीक. I'll speak to you then. Okay, Anmol.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Anmol. Good evening.
Yeah, so the major issue as almost everyone face in connecting the paragraphs, like the topic of first and the second and the subsequent. In that, first of all, I face the problem and a bit in how to conclude the paragraph. As you have also mentioned that conclusion needs to be in a more way forward.
Yeah.
And so in that perspective. Also, sir, I need to ask one thing. Have you received both of my essay or only one?
No, I think, I mean, I checked your script.
Yeah.
Probably Nikhil sir must have also done.
Yes, sir, I also did. And I also sent it. I think I sent on your mail, on your email ID.
Okay. I will check for once. I received the feedback for the first one. I mean the section A part. Maybe the section B you might have checked, and it will be in my mail. I will check
Section
that.
A, I mean section B. I mean, if you have attempted the question or the issue of sustainable development, then that
Yes.
particular issue has been checked by Nikhil sir. The rest of the issues
Okay.
have been checked by me.
Okay, I have attempted on sustainable development.
Okay, right. So that's what actually is the issue.
Okay.
I mean, even though, I mean, idea is that your writing was good, relatively better than many of your colleagues here.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
That way, you of course have that basic idea about how to write it. All right.
Okay.
Even sir, even her introduction was also good.
Amritansu has received. I think I have checked your script. I think Nikhil sir may have sent you. Nikhil sir, have you checked the script of Amritansu?
So I didn't receive any of these script from him, Amritanshu. No, one copy I have with without name. So I don't know if one copy I have on without name, and I think the same copy you send on the group also.
But no one actually has come to claim,
exactly.
to claim that script. It was an issue with us also.
Okay.
No issue. I mean, okay, I'll see into it. I'll see. Amritansu, you can resend that script which has not been checked on my WhatsApp number. I'll see into it. All right, no issue there. Okay, and then Sudha.
Hello.
Yeah, Sudha, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah.
सर आई थिंक ये ऐसे वगैरह के बारे में कुछ ज्यादा नहीं जानते, इसलिए सर
अच्छा
अवेयरनेस होने के लिए, अवेयर होने के लिए सर,
अच्छा
तो इसलिए सर अटेंड करें।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, आज थोड़ी जानकारी मिलेगी उसके बारे में, उससे बात
यस
करते हैं। ठीक
जी।
ठीक है, कोई नहीं। रोहित, रोहित, आर यू देयर?
Yes, sir.
हाँ रोहित, तो
So just a second, sir. 1 minute. Sir, are you able to hear me?
yeah, we can all hear you out.
Sorry, sir. Actually, I am just returning from my office now.
No issue.
So that.
Sir, this is the beauty of this platform. This is the beauty of this platform.
You can do any of your work and you can do any of the class. That's the beauty of this platform. ठीक है रोहित, you carry forward. You come back.
No, sir. No, sir. Actually, I just halted. I actually this discussion is more important than traveling. I'll wait for some.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean,
No, sir. I'll be waiting for first. I'll
we
be.
just wanted to know your experience and your issues while writing the essay. That's it.
So actually, I wanted to talk about this. When the topics were initially given, sir, I was actually a bit, confused which topic to select, and some of what actually I had no idea also how to start. So the introduction part, as you have mentioned in my first essay, that it was
Right.
not exactly what's suitable for the question. So I was actually confused how to start the essay, and mainly, sir, what I want to ask you is that all of the essays actually I feel that we have to include DPSPs and fundamental rights and all in the essays, which I wanted to. Like example, today in the morning when I wrote this essay about that New Deal one. So in that I had this idea whether like I had to introduce that DPSP concept over there.
Okay.
But I was not sure how to include that thing. So my essay actually went on writing when I think got extended for around 8 pages. So that also I wanted to understand how to concise the writing and include all my ideas in a conceptual and clear-minded form.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So have you received my second essay, sir?
Second essay, you have sent it on email, no?
No, sir. I have uploaded it.
Yes, we received. We received.
We have
We
received.
received. We received.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So we'll check. Don't worry. We'll check and give the feedback tomorrow.
We received today.
Yes, sir. And then the first essay, sir. How was the first essay, sir? Actually, I wrote it for the first time.
I will be sharing some of your writings also. All right, through screen sharing today. So
Yes, sir.
come to know about that shortly. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then, who's left now? I'm unable to read. One name is not being disclosed here. It's only coming read me. That's it.
One more essay was there, which belonged to Ritika Jha.
Ritika Jha.
Sir, actually, she's my sister. I also told her she had also given the exam.
Okay.
So,
ठीक है.
she's my sister. She gave her exam this time for the first time. So I actually told her to write this essay and.
Rikita, the essay is also good. Means introductory part is good. Somewhat she made it. Over to you, sir.
I just tell her to join the Zoom meeting, sir.
Ask her.
Ask her.
She has written the test. You must join because you will learn a lot of things out of the session. Okay. And then anyone else left now? So, yes, who is now left? So in the group, anyone who is left now? I am unable to find out the name of one of the attendees. Read me. I don't know whose identity is this. I mean, can you disclose your identity? Read me.
Hello.
Yeah, who is there?
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, my Chandan.
Chandan.
Yes.
Acha Chandan. So you written the test?
No, sir.
अच्छा नहीं लिखे थे, चलिए कोई नहीं, ठीक है ठीक है। तो वो नाम दिख नहीं रहा था, तो वी वाज स्लाइटली,
Sorry, sir.
नो इट्स ओके इट्स ओके इट्स ओके, ठीक है। सो आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट देन, आई मीन let us then be very specific to the issue, that the purpose for which we have I mean come together here. So now let me tell you one thing, that as far as essay is concerned, as all of you must be knowing, that it is definitely a very important paper as far as your success and your ranks in civil service examination is concerned. So therefore you should take this paper very seriously, and I personally believe that in this paper, to score good and handsome marks is always possible, and it is actually in the command and control of the students only. Unlike the other papers where you cannot be highly sure about your exact marks or your exact, you can say, score that you can fetch out from those papers. So in relation to the GS papers 1, 2, 3, 4, essay paper according to me is more stable, or and more, you can say, secured in terms of scoring good marks. So there, if you perform well, you can always be assured, in fact, of scoring minimum of, let's say, out of 250, a minimum of 125 or maybe 30, 130 marks out of 250. That is quite possible, even possible for those candidates who might not be having very, you can say, very sound expression, or very, you can say, grammatically very apt expression, even though they can also score 125 plus marks in essay, provided if they have kept the presentation in a very legible and also comprehensible manner. Fine. So that's what actually is the potential of this paper. And if you see the scores also of this year's students, like even rank one. So rank one score, if you see, now he has also scored handsome marks in essay. All right. I mean, essay and ethics, I think they are the two very important papers for him. In fact, in terms of securing him the rank one this year as well. So if you see the marks, I believe that he has scored more than 140 marks in both the papers, in fact, in essay and as well as in the ethics paper. So that is what is the correlation also at times between essay and ethics paper, because both the papers are actually those papers where your language and the command over language will actually ensure the number of, or the score that you're going to score, that you're going to fetch out of these two papers. So if you're very sound in your expression and you have a command over language, you have been a very well-read person also in your life, then definitely in these two papers you are not going to let yourself down. That is the advantage of these two papers, that is the essay and even the ethics paper. And surprisingly, you will also notice it. You will notice on yourself, you may also notice on the performance of other candidates, that the person who has scored well, let's say in paper of essay, they also score always well in paper of ethics. That is normal, you can say, trend that you can also observe it on yourself. It is all due to that in both the papers, the writing skill matters a lot. Unlike the GS paper 1, 2, 3, where you can only mug up the facts and you can only narrate the facts, on that basis also you can score very handsome marks in GS paper 1, 2, 3. But in paper 4, only facts will not fetch you marks. In paper essay of paper also, only facts will not fetch you marks. So obviously you will have to have the ability to express yourself in a very legible and comprehensible manner. That's what it is the point of scoring good marks in both essay and the ethics paper. Now, having said that, let us now be very specific to essay. What is to be done, what should not be done in essay? See, essay, as you know, that you have to write 2 essays now. And those 2 essays have to be written between 1000 to 1200 words. So 1200 words per essay, that is supposed to be written. Fine. So it means that if you go by very, very practical example I'm giving you, if you go by the normal trend, normally if your font of writing is not so big, neither not so small, it is average, that normally what happens is normally on one particular sheet, even of UPSC, you will be able to write between, let's say 70 to 100 words. So between 70 to 100 words, you can easily write on one piece of page, one page itself. So by that logic, you need to understand that you have to write only 10 to 12 pages there in the examination. So 12 pages of essay is sufficient to score good marks in essay. So 12 pages each, it means 24 pages So between 24 to let's say 30 pages maximum you can write as far as your essay is concerned in an examination. Fine. Now this is surprisingly very less if you compare your writing, the amount of pressure of writing that is there in essay and amount of pressure of writing that is there in GS. Because in GS you are supposed to write almost 4,000 words in three hours. But here in essay you are supposed to write not more than 2,400 words, that too in 3 hours. So the idea that you need to always be very clear with this particular concept, that why in 3 hours UPSC is asking you to write 2,400 words only. On the other hand, why in 3 hours in GS they are asking you to write 4,000 words? So it is all because of one fundamental factor, that they also want you to write essay after thinking. Think then ink. So idea is, this is what is the mantra of success in essay. Now the point is whether it is advisable to think and then write at every paragraph. Then I say no, it is a blunder. If you go by this logic or this practice of writing every paragraph after thinking, then it will consume, as someone of you have said, then it will consume even more than 2 hours to write a single essay. Therefore, what is advisable now? You will have to first of all choose a very comfortable topic for yourself. Should not choose very ambitious topic where you have maybe some idea but not the fair idea or not a clear idea. So choose the topic where you feel yourself very comfortable in expressing yourself. That is the one thing that you have to do. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहला काम करना क्या होता है कि आप सबसे कंफर्टेबल जो एसे आपको लगता है वो आप उसको सिलेक्ट कर लेंगे. Now the point that someone of you has also mentioned it, कि एसे में फिलोसॉफिकल टॉपिक्स भी आते हैं और उसमें फिर कैसे इसको एक्सप्लोर करना है, कैसे इसको आगे लेके बढ़ना है. That also becomes a very important issue of struggle in initial, you can say, part of writing. That is true. I mean, that is nothing wrong in that. I mean, the point is, this is the reason why UPSC has ensured that at least out of, let's say, 8 essays, they have been asking a minimum of 4 to 5 essays purely coming from philosophical background, just to test the knowledge, just to test the idea of, you can say, interpolation and contemplation by the candidate or by the students, in fact. So that's precisely the idea of asking such kind of question. Now the point is that first of all you have to select a very comfortable topic in both the sections, A and B. Fine. Once you have selected the most comfortable topic, I would say that, so those people who are not very comfortable in writing the topic of, let's say, the philosophical topic, all right, and they probably think that they will have to think a lot, then only they can write. Then I would suggest them that of course they will have to go for some sort of structurization of essay. So what you do in the initial, you can say, hours or maybe initial minutes, out of 3 hours you can keep, let's say, 10 minutes or 15 minutes for each essay only to scribble down the structure of that essay. तो रफ पेज पे आप ये प्रैक्टिस यहाँ भी करेंगे और फाइनली वहां भी करेंगे जो फाइनली आपको परफॉर्म करना होगा उस दिन भी. तो रफ पेज पे आपको करना क्या है कि यू हैव टू सिंपली स्क्रिबल डाउन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द एसे. पूरा एसे लिखना नहीं है. पहला कि इस एसे में कैसे क्या क्या पॉइंट्स मुझे डालने हैं, उसके स्ट्रक्चर्स आपको बना लेने हैं. ठीक है, दोनों एसे के स्ट्रक्चर्स बना लेने हैं रफ पेज में. स्ट्रक्चर्स बना देने के बाद ही फिर आप उसको अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड. ठीक है, सो यू टेक, लेट्स से, इनिशियल 20 minutes, make the structure of both the essays, keep the watch always in front of you so that you have a fair idea about your timing and the time being taken by you in terms of even structurizing the essay. तो उसमें इतना टाइम नहीं लगना जाना चाहिए कि जिसमें आपका टाइम ही कम पड़ जाए ओवरऑल. तो वो 10 minutes is sufficient to actually go for structurization of essay. ठीक है, तो वो करने के बाद आप सिंपल अपने आप को लॉन्च करेंगे. essay 1, essay 2 जो भी आपको पसंद आ रहा है, जो भी आपको समझ में आ रहा है, पहले उस पर लॉन्च करेंगे अपने आप को. ठीक है, सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यू विल गो फॉर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अ स्ट्रक्चराइजेशन ऑफ एसे. ये पहला मैंडेटरी टास्क है जो आप सबको करना है. ठीक है, अब स्ट्रक्चराइजेशन में ही हम आते हैं. करना क्या होता है, देखिए, एसे में हमेशा ध्यान रखना है कि 3 बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पार्ट होते हैं. एसे इज ऑल अबाउट three very important fundamental pillars. One is your introduction. Now, introduction is always a fundamental pillar. Why? Because that will attract the attention of the examiner who is going to evaluate your essay. And the fact of the matter is that examiner has been evaluating the essays, let's say on a daily basis, at least a minimum of 20 to 25 essays. So if an examiner is evaluating 20 to 25 essays per day, you need to understand he is also a human being. An essay being so highly subjective topic that it can be interpreted in 100 ways by 100 students altogether. Having this as a base or having this as a logic, of course, you need to understand that your introduction should be such that it must attract the attention of the examiner at the outset. The moment the examiner is opening your very first page, flipping through your very first page, he should get attracted towards your writing. He or she should get attracted towards your writing, and he or she must take interest that what have you written there in the essay. Because let me tell you one thing at the outset, neither in essay nor even in interview, you will be getting marks without having proper assessment by the persons who was there to assess your performance. ऐसे में भी वही लॉजिक अप्लाई होता है कि बिना वो आपको पढ़े हुए मार्क्स नहीं देंगे. मार्क्स वो दे ही नहीं सकते हैं कि आपको वो 140 or 50 मार्क्स आ गया ऐसे में. इट इज इम्पॉसिबल. It means if your someone is scoring 140, 50 marks, it means the entire essay must have been read by that person. If someone is scoring, let's say 100 marks or below 100 marks, it means your paper has not been read. It has only been scanned. Let me tell you one thing. It has only been scanned. It has not been read. And why it has been scanned? Because the examiner did not find your essay so attractive that he was compelled to read your entire script. And there lies the entire mantra of success and difference. Therefore, your introduction always matters a lot. So introduction should also be written in a rough style, not the final introduction, rough style when you scribble down your structure. तो वहां पे भी आप 4-5 सेंटेंस में जो इंट्रोडक्शन आपको लेके चलना है उसके बारे में एक स्ट्रक्चर बना के लिख लेंगे. तो इंट्रोडक्शन पे भी आप काम कर लेंगे. Then the second part is the main body part. Now the main body part where you have to explore the essay in various dimensions. वहां पे भी आपको स्ट्रक्चर जब बनाएंगे तो उसके ऊपर जितने भी डायमेंशंस हो सकते हैं उसको एक्सप्लोर करना है. देखिए एक चीज समझाना चाहता हूं आपको. In psychology there is a concept of thinking. I had one of my optionals as psychology. See, thinking as a concept, it is basically a cognitive process. It's a process that is led by your brain, our brain in that way. Now what and how do we think? Let me tell you, we think by two reasons or by two, you can say, processes. One is the convergent thinking. Another one is the divergent thinking. Convergent and divergent. Convergent means all the ideas surrounding to the topic should come down to one particular place, to one particular topic, and it should get integrated towards that topic only. That is a convergent process of thinking. Divergent thinking, that from the same topic, how many dimensions you are able to explore. How many dimensions you are able to explore, that is the divergent thinking. Suppose if I close my hand, now of course while closing my hand, by clasping my hand, what I have done, I have closely bounded my both the fingers, both the hands together. Now this is what is called as convergent process. But the moment when I open my fingers slowly and gradually towards every direction, it is called as divergent thinking, which means for the same topic, am I able to explore, let's say, hundreds of dimensions, hundreds of approaches towards that or from that. So that is the concept of divergent thinking. Now, essay is the perfect example of doing the same exercise by all of you. You will have to go for both convergent and divergent thinking while explaining or expressing any topic of essay. तो करना क्या है कि आपको जो मेन बॉडी पार्ट में जब आएंगे तो आपको उस टॉपिक के ऊपर जितने भी आइडियाज आप सोच सकते हैं उस टॉपिक के ऊपर सारे आइडियाज को लेके इकट्ठा करेंगे. जब वो टॉपिक एक साथ इकट्ठा हो जाएगा, डायमेंशन एक साथ आ जाएगा, तो उसके बाद आप उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, उस टॉपिक के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप उसको एक्सप्लोर करेंगे कि ये आइडियाज कहां कहां एप्लीकेबल हो सकता है, कहां कहां इस आइडिया को मैं अप्लाई कर सकता हूं विथ लॉजिक, विथ रीजंस, विथ एग्जांपल्स. तो जहां जहां मैं उस आइडिया को एक्सप्लोर कर सकता हूं वो आइडियाज मैं निकालूंगा कि इसको यहां कर सकते हैं, इसको यहां कर सकते हैं, इसको यहां रिलेट कर सकते हैं. मैं अभी दिखाऊंगा कुछ आपको सैंपल्स कैसे करना होता है. So of course with this you will be doing both the aspects of convergent and divergent thinking. Fine, that is one aspect of essay that you have to always keep in mind. So main body part में आपको ये थ्योरी अप्लाई करना होगा. ठीक, दूसरा थ्योरी जो आपको अप्लाई करना है मेन बॉडी पार्ट में ही, देखिए essay is all about creative writing. Creative writing. Now what is creativity? See, creativity is any novel idea which has the social relevance. ठीक है, तो क्रिएटिविटी उन सारे आइडियाज को हम कहेंगे, क्रिएटिव आइडियाज वो ही होते हैं जो कि अपने आप में एक नया हो, नायाब हो, लेकिन वो नायाब ऐसा ना हो जाए कि जिसका कोई समाज में उससे कोई भला ही नहीं होने वाला है. So idea which has novelty, idea which has innovations, idea which has something to cherish about, and those ideas which actually have the social relevance and social impact, that is called creativity. So always remember what is creativity. It means two things. One, nobility, that is nobility, in fact, that is nayapan. And second one is social relevance. Then only that idea would be called as a creative idea. Fine. So the point that I was trying to make it out before all of you was that you have to understand while exploring the main body part of your essay, you have to also come out with some creative ideas. Some creative ideas. And those creative ideas should be always very clearly highlighted in your essay, so that an examiner should not give the benefit of doubt to you. He or she must go through that creative ideas also while reading out your essay script. So in main body part, you will have to also apply this as a principle to explore the ideas. That is the idea of creativity. Third aspect. The third is very important for all of you. See, third aspect is, as you said, as some of you said, that it becomes difficult also at times to explore some new ideas. ये होता है, it's nothing new. I mean, it happens with everyone. You feel, of course, completely jabbed down. You feel that you are unable to think beyond this, or rather new ideas are not coming to your mind. It happens, it's very normal. You're also a human being, we all also a human being. So a human being will have this sort of problem. But you have to train your mind. You have to train your mind to think in the divergent process. So what is this divergent process? Let me tell you the idea. When you feel like that you don't have now new ideas to explore the essay further, then at that point of time, I would suggest you to just remember the chapters of India Yearbook. India Yearbook पढ़ा है आप लोगों ने? शायद किसी ने पढ़ा हो, किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा हो. Now, why I'm sharing this thing? See, India Yearbook is one of those books published by the government of India or the government of India's wing. It covers India thoroughly from every perspective. Now, in the book of India Yearbook or in the content of India Yearbook, now there is nothing which has now been left, which has nothing, that is nothing there in this book which has been left by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting while publishing India Yearbook. No, there may be the content might be less, content might be very adequate, might not be very adequate also, but the areas explored in this book is completely covering every aspect of human life, every aspect. So when in main body part, when you feel like that there is a now complete mental block, you are unable to think in what direction I have to now orient my essay, then just try to remember the chapters of India Yearbook. Fine. That is one mantra of exploding some new ideas. Fine. Second mantra I'm giving you to all of you. See, whenever you attempt any essay, in 99% of cases, in 99% of the essay topics, you will find there are 5-6 dimensions very obviously you can create. And when you create 5-6 dimensions of that particular topic of essay, you will have to think, you have to find out first and foremost the historical importance of that particular essay topic. So historical topic, historical importance needs to be identified there. And while identifying the historical background or historical relevance of this topic or that topic, whatever you have chosen, you have to also identify their cultural significance. So historical and cultural aspects of that topic needs to be identified at that particular point of time when you are structurizing your essay. जब स्ट्रक्चर लिखते होते तभी के बारे में बता रहा हूं आपको. तो आप ये हिस्टोरिकल और कल्चरल उसके डायमेंशंस को पहले आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे. Once you have identified that, then you will enter into, let's say, the political dimension, that if at all there is any political dimension or not. So of course political dimension has to be also explored. Then thirdly, you will also try to identify its economic dimension, that whether there is any economic dimension of that topic or not. You also try to explain or explore that economic dimensions. Then fourthly, you will try to also identify the geographical or environmental dimension of that topic. So whether there is any environmental or geographical dimension of the topic are there or not. Fine. That is also one thing you will identify. Fine. Last but not the least, when you also try to explore the dimensions of those aspects, you also identify whether it has the social relevance of the topic or not. So the social relevance of the topic has to be also explored, and that obviously every topic must be having social relevance. So social relevance also needs to be explored in your main body part. Now, having done this exercise of exploring the main essay or the essay in the main body part in various dimensions, you will scribble down all those points that you have to explain in those dimensions. So that is the second mantra of exploring the dimensions in your essay. Third mantra I'm sharing with all of you. Every topic of essay, unless and until it does not quantify the area of that topic in the context of India, if it does not specifically mentions that you have to write the essay in the context of India, it means that topic is open. If the topic of the essay does not specify about India, it means this topic is open Open means that you don't have to think only from Indian perspective. You will not commit a blunder of thinking that topic only from the perspective of India or from Indian perspective, in fact. Then what is the logic there? The logic says that you will think yourself from the global perspective of that particular topic. Global perspective. So in that way, you have to explore the ideas of that topic from global examples, from global scenario. Fine. That is the third very important guidelines while exploring the idea in the main body part. Fourth important guidelines. See, the fourth important guideline is when you explore the topic of essay, you have to think yourself in the position of different sections of society. You have to put yourself in the shoes of others. In the shoes of others, which means that the topic of essay has to be seen from the perspective of a person who is living in a village. So you now consider yourself as a villager and then think how, being a villager, this particular topic of essay would influence me, would impact me. Now, being a villager, you will have to explore the ideas regarding that particular topic of essay. Then you uplift yourself from being a villager to come to an urban dweller. You become a resident in the urban area. And then again relate that topic of essay with you being an urban dweller in any of the urban areas of the world, if it is not related to the Indian specific or India specific. So obviously in that way you will have to find out some more options as an urban dweller, what all challenges, what all impact, what all influences are there with the given topic of essay for you. That is the second aspect. Third aspect, you have to also think that you are living in, let's say, in a metropolitan area, metropolitan city. Now in a metropolitan city, what would be the impact or influence of the topic of essay on you? So that is how you will start exploring the idea. Fourth, you will think that you have been appointed as a member of UNO. You have become the member of UNO, and there you have been given a task to frame a policy regarding the topic that you have chosen to write in an essay. Now you think that once you are appointed as a UN Director General or UN, let's say, chief, how would you interpret this topic of essay for the entire world? So that is a fourth very important dimension to explore the topic of essay. Fine. Now this is what you have to do. The fourth important guideline was this. Fifth important guideline that is equally very important. See, fifth important guideline is if the topic is pertaining to India, then if the topic is pertaining to India, then it is highly important to understand and acknowledge the role of the government of India on the given topic. So you cannot take a chance of forgetting, or rather not mentioning or doing not justice to the government steps regarding those issues, the issue that you have chosen in terms of writing an essay. So what all steps the government of India have taken in the past, currently, etc., you will have to narrate, you have to at least explain, you have to mention those important efforts of the government from various perspectives. What all efforts the government have taken in the past, you have to explore those all steps of the government there in the essay itself. So the government schemes, policies are very, very important in scoring good marks in essay. So you have to remember those schemes, those policies as well. Now suppose if the essay is not only regarding India, then so it means You don't have to only explore the idea about Indian government's contribution there, but rather you have to also explore the idea about the contribution of the UNO, the contribution of international agencies, international conferences, international platforms and forums regarding the topic that you have chosen while writing the essay. So I hope my idea is now clear to all of you what I was trying to explain to you. So see, these are the 5 very important dimensions on which you have to explore your essay, especially in the main body part. Once you have done this exercise, then the last part would be conclusion. And conclusion is always very important in essay. And I can give you from my own experience and the experience of my near and dear ones, that the people who have left conclusion, who could not write the conclusion properly, they have not been able to score very handsome marks, despite the fact that they have been able to do justice with the essay. Now, conclusion is very, very important, and most of us, we hardly give a damn to the issue of conclusion. We simply try to write the essay, and finally we conclude with, let's say, 4 to 5 lines, and this is how we end up the essay. So that should not be done. Should not be done. So remember the structure. In essay, for every structure, you have marks fixed for that. It is just like mathematics, that for every step there's a marks. In mathematics also, you know the answer. You know the answer, this is going to be the answer, but you follow the process. And once you follow the process, you score full marks. But those who write only the answer, they score less marks. Exactly the same logic applies to essay. If you forget the conclusion, you will score less marks, but if you include in conclusion, that too with proper sense, you will always score very handsome marks or full marks in essay in that way. So what you have to do, you have to keep at least 2 of paragraphs only for conclusion, minimum of 2. Normally एक ही paragraph हम conclude कर देते हैं, ऐसा नहीं करो आप. 2 paragraph, always keep 2 paragraph while concluding any topic. And what is to be there, what is to be written there in those 2 paragraphs? See, the first, second last paragraph, in fact the last and second last paragraph, in the second last paragraph, you have to ensure that what is the future, what is the future of this particular topic that you have chosen in your essay. So you have to give the futuristic orientation of that particular topic. And last, how those futuristic orientation can be achieved through the steps, that is solutions. So those steps, minimum of, let's say, 2-3 steps, you have to include while concluding your essay. So conclusion always matter a lot in scoring handsome marks in essay. So should not take lightly the aspect of conclusion. There, that is the reason why you will have to fix a time in a very proper manner to write both the essays properly. Now, having said that, it means that in 3 hours, you have been given time to write one essay in 1.5 hours. So by this logic, effectively, you will be having, let's say, 1 hour, 10 minutes or 15 minutes in your hand to write one essay. तो 1 घंटा इफेक्टिवली आपको मिलेगा. 1 घंटे में आपको 1200-1300 वर्ड, 1000 से 1200 वर्ड के बीच में लिखना है इनफैक्ट. तो 1 घंटा आप प्रैक्टिस करके देखेंगे 1 घंटा में कितने वर्ड्स आप लिख पाते हैं. लेकिन ये तभी हो पाएगा जब अपने स्ट्रक्चर बना लिए हैं. स्ट्रक्चर नहीं बनाएंगे तो 1 घंटे में आप शायद 4 से 5-6 पेज लिख पाएंगे. उसके बाद अगले 6 पेज के लिए अब आपको अगला 1 घंटा और लगाना पड़ेगा. तो इससे क्या होगा कि पहला ऐसे तो भले ही आप अच्छा लिख लेंगे, लेकिन दूसरा ऐसे में आप ना कंक्लूजन लिखेंगे, ना ही मेन बॉडी पार्ट को इतने प्रॉपर तरीके से एक्सप्लोर कर पाएंगे. ठीक है. So obviously this is what normally happens with everyone. So you have to avoid this particular situation now. So you will have to allocate the time, equally to both the essays, because at the end of the day, you will have to score handsome marks in both the essays. Then only your net total marks of aggregate marks is going to be your deciding marks of essay in your success, either in the civil services, you can say merit list, also with the proper rank then civil service. So that's the reason why you will have to work for both the aspects thoroughly. ठीक है, तो ये करना है. अब आते हैं कि ऐसे में और क्या क्या बातें आपको ध्यान रखनी है. तो पहले से स्टार्ट करते हैं इंट्रोडक्शन के ऊपर. सी स्ट्रक्चर तो मैंने बताया कि आपको स्ट्रक्चराइजेशन कैसे कैसे करना है. ठीक है, वो तो आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. अब मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि इंट्रोडक्शन कैसे करना है. क्योंकि इंट्रोडक्शन आपका ओपनिंग पेज है, ये आपका ओपनिंग रिमार्क्स है, ये आपका इंट्रोडक्शन है टू दैट anonymous examiner to whom neither you know nor he or she knows you. So obviously you will have to present your essay in such a manner that you can attract or you can pull the attention of that examiner towards your script. ठीक है, तो आपको उसके अटेंशन को खींचना है आपके तरफ. और वो तरीका क्या है? वो तरीका है कि आपको अपने एसे को ऐसे प्रेजेंट करना है कि वो पहले पेज खोलते ही उसको लग जाए कि आपने कुछ बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग कुछ लिखा है अंदर. तो मैं पढ़ता हूं कि क्या लिखा है आपने आगे. तो करना ये है कि इंट्रोडक्शन जो है आपका वो बहुत मैटर करता है एसे का. इसलिए इंट्रोडक्शन पे काफी काम करना होता है हमेशा. ठीक है, और उसमें करना क्या है कि यू हैव टू ओनली फाइंड आउट दैट whether that topic of essay that you have chosen, can you bring some anecdotes, some short stories, some, let's say, very effective poem, or maybe from lines of some poet, some very great scholars, all right, to actually pull the attention of the examiner towards the essay. Fine. So that needs to be always introduced, always, I would say, incorporate. You must incorporate this idea in your introduction always. Fine. In some of your writings which I have checked, you are having this idea. You have tried to also incorporate those ideas, but it should have been done more effectively also. Now, what is that effectively? See, idea is that on the very first page that you normally write, there also in the examination and here also, on the very first page you have to ensure that you are writing only 2 paragraphs. 2 ही पैराग्राफ लिखना है पहले पेज पे, उससे नहीं लिखिएगा. Writing should be only in 2 paragraphs, and the first paragraph should be on the anecdotes or the narration or the stories or the poem, whatever that you can remember, which is apt, which has to be always apt to the given topic. All right, and you have to relate either in the introduction or in the very opening line. In the very opening line you have to relate the topic that you have chosen with the anecdotes, with the narration, with the short story that you are going to incorporate in your essay, in your introduction in that. तो आपको करना है क्या है कि ओपनिंग सेंटेंस जो आप लिखेंगे उसको ऐसे स्टार्ट ही करेंगे कि जो गिवन टॉपिक है इसको समझने के लिए ये जो कुछ चंद लाइनें हैं ये कितना ही पर्याप्त, कितना ही एप्ट है. So this is how you will start your essay, so that the examiner will get attracted towards reading your essay part. तो ये आपको पहला काम करना है. ठीक है, और दूसरा पैराग्राफ होना चाहिए कि कैसे आप इस एसे को आगे आने वाले आपके जो पेजेस हैं उस पे आप कैसे इस एसे को एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, किन किन डायमेंशंस में आप एसे को एक्सप्लोर करेंगे, और आप आगे जो रीडर है आपका, जो पढ़ने वाला है, उसको बताएंगे कि ये सारे डायमेंशंस में आगे एक्सप्लोर करने जा रहा हूं. तो इसका मतलब है कि पहले पैराग्राफ में आपने क्या किया, यू हैव pulled the attention of the examiner. In the second paragraph you have introduced yourself to the examiner very briefly and very concisely. Now the examiner will move to the third paragraph, and from the third paragraph you will start talking about that particular dimension that I was talking about in the form of main body part. So third paragraph से आपका main body part start होगा. 2 paragraph initially introduction के लिए, फिर 6, 7, 8 पैराग्राफ जितने भी लिख सकते हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर कंटेंट, योर मेन बॉडी पार्ट के लिए, और लास्ट के 2 पैराग्राफ कंप्लीटली ऑन योर कंक्लूजन। तो ये मंत्र रखना है आपको, ठीक है। तो स्टार्ट करना है आप थर्ड पैराग्राफ में, जहां से मेन बॉडी पार्ट स्टार्ट होगा। और जब मेन बॉडी पार्ट आप लिख रहे हैं तो पूरे पेजेस में आप इंश्योर कीजिए कि 2 से 3 पैराग्राफ से ज्यादा नहीं आए, ठीक है। 3 पैराग्राफ आ जाए इट्स मोस्ट वेलकम, 2 आ जाए चलेगा, लेकिन 2-3 पैराग्राफ मिनिमम रखना है। ऐसा ना हो जाए कि पूरा पेज भर दिया, पैराग्राफ चेंज ही नहीं हुआ, तो इससे क्या होगा कि आप फिर लूज करेंगे अपना अटेंशन ऑफ योर एग्जामिनर। Paragraph change is always required in attracting the attention of the examiner, but not unnecessarily. Rather, you have to create the ideas in such a manner that it is very easy for you to create 2 paragraphs, and those 2 paragraphs should always be interlinked with each other. So suppose you're talking about in the very first aspect about the historical cultural relationship with that particular topic, then definitely after that you will have to relate it with the, let's say, either the cultural aspect in the next paragraph, that is going to be the 4th paragraph, or maybe the social aspect, depending upon your content and depending upon the topic that you have chosen in writing the essay. So this is how you have to link. And in the very last sentence, in the very last sentence of your the preceding paragraph, you have to write the last sentence in such a manner that it is going to link the next sentence and the issue of next sentence in fact. तो ये ध्यान रखना है कि आपका लास्ट लाइन जो हो पहले पैराग्राफ का, प्रीसीडिंग पैराग्राफ का, वो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि जो नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ आने वाला है वो उसके तरफ लिंक करता हुआ दिखे। Then you change the paragraph and shift over social issues. जब सोशल इश्यू लिख दिया तो लास्ट लाइन उसमें लिखना है ऐसा कि जो लगे कि अब इससे पॉलिटिकल इश्यू को आप लिंक करने जा रहे हैं। Then write the political issues. So it is not essential to write a heading or a, you can say, tag over every paragraph कि ये पॉलिटिकल इश्यू है, ये सोशल इश्यू है, ये लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है। पैराग्राफ चेंज ही आप ऐसे करेंगे कि जिससे वो लेजिबिलिटी क्लियर कट हो एग्जामिनर को कि हम आप यहां से पैराग्राफ चेंज कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। तो थोड़ा सा कम शब्द भी लिखेंगे पर पेज तो भी चलेगा, but you have to ensure that it should be written in such a manner that it should be legible to the examiner, because legibility matters a lot. Handwriting अच्छी है तो वो तो सोने पर सुहागा है, obviously you will be getting some advantage, ठीक है, ये तो एडवांटेज है, किसी को भी है, लेकिन it does not mean that a person who does not have very good handwriting, he or she is at any disadvantage. Rather, I would say that if he or she does not have a good handwriting and if he or she is unable to present the idea in a legible manner, तो डेफिनेटली वहां पे डिसएडवांटेज है। एक तो राइटिंग खराब है, उस पर आपने बहुत सारा कट्टम पुट्टी कर दिया है, स्ट्राइक ऑफ किया है, ये काटा वो काटा, तो आप मान लीजिए कि फिर तो इंटेंशन ऑफ एग्जामिनर का लूज कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। तो कोशिश करना है कि आप जो भी लिखे वो लेजिबल हो, दिखे साफ साफ, भले आपकी राइटिंग कैसी भी क्यों ना हो। तो स्पेसिंग प्रॉपर रखनी है, गैप्स प्रॉपर रखने हैं सेंटेंसेस के बीच में, और खासकर पैराग्राफ चेंज करने के दौरान तो खासकर। सो दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू डू। फाइन, नाउ कमिंग टू द next idea that is equally very important. When you write, let's say on the 3rd or the 4th page, try to remember some of the very popular quotes of great leaders, some of the inspirational quotes of great philosophers, especially like Lord Buddha, Swami Vivekanand, Mahatma Gandhi. So these people's thoughts, you must be having a good, you can say, repository of their statements in your mind. And whenever and wherever it is possible to include their thoughts while writing your paragraph, you must include them quote unquote style. And after doing that, also underline that. Underline that if it is possible through pencil, If it is not, then through pen only you can underline that. So underline or underlining is equally very important in essay to attract the attention of the examiner. But it does not mean that you are going for every paragraph, every line is being underlined, or every sentence is being underlined. No, that is not done. That is not done, because that is again going to at your disadvantage in that way. So what you do, that you underline only those keywords of that particular paragraph on which you are going to express your entire ideas in the next few sentences. So that should be done in doing that exercise of also incorporating the quotes of the philosophers, great leaders, the great persons of India and of the world also, if you remember some of them. So that is always going to add some more value in your writing. There's no doubt about it. Fine. Now that is one thing. Coming to the next issue, that suppose you are opting the topic that is pertaining to philosophy, or let's say that is pertaining to even the issue of public administration or maybe polity, etc. Then, as someone of you have said that you have tried to write at least, of course, the constitutional provisions. That is well. That is good idea. Of course, you must include. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, you also must include the ARC reports, their special recommendations regarding that particular issue, the economic surveys reports on that particular issue, even other government documents like Niti Ayog's observation on that particular issue. Now, this will always fetch you good marks, and when you do it, always underline that. Always underline that the examiner must be having a fair idea that you are a well-read person. You've been thorough with the newspaper, you've been thorough with the current affairs, you've been thorough with the government of India's documents as well. And this will definitely fetch you very handsome marks in essay. Fine. So the point that I was trying to explain to all of you is that this is how you have to express your ideas in your subsequent paragraphs. And try to incorporate at least one or two statements and quotes of great leaders on every page, or maybe at least on alternative page of your entire essay. So this will add definite advantage to you in terms of scoring very good marks. Fine. So that is the basic idea about how to approach essay. Now coming to the topic that we have to discuss, I will take up few of the topics to make you make you understand what is to be written there in your essay. So see, let me tell you one thing, that we have asked you some topics, and in those topics, if you can see on the screen, I hope that is now visible to all of you. Is it visible to all of you? आप लोगों को दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So now see, you have 4 of the essays that is in section A, and of course 4 in the section B. Now all the early 4 of the top 4 of section A essays, they belong to slightly on the philosophical aspects, which are normally also asked in a similar manner in UPSC as well. Now see these questions are not so simple. I mean, these questions standard are equally to the standard of UPSC. And for that, you need to only compare these essays and the essays that have been asked by UPSC in the last few years. You will find that at least some of the topics that I have given, it is even tougher than those topics which have been asked by UPSC in the past years of examinations. So idea is, let us understand what is to be done in these essays. First and foremost, in the philosophical topics, normally people get difficulty. I understand why, because it is all about, interpretation of those philosophical topic from a layman's perspective. So see, what you have to do, you have to first of all read the topic of essay, even though it actually connotes philosophical sense. you will have to narrate that sense from philosophical perspective to the real life perspective. Suppose I give you one example that the sovereign does not have much interest in perpetuating injustice. So it simply means it indicates towards that the state, whether it is a democratic or a republic, or let's say the autocratic or a monarchical, now of course those state does not have any interest in perpetuating injustice. And top of that, if you have to interpret it from, let's say, historical perspective, if you have to interpret it from the current perspective, so in both the perspectives you can get the interpretation of this particular topic. And the interpretation is very simple and straightforward. Interpretation is that the sovereign simply means the power of the people that is reposed in one entity, one body, or one institution in that way. So that particular power does not have any interest in perpetuating injustice. In other words, they have the interest of ensuring justice and welfare of everyone in the society. But it is due to the disgruntled, dissatisfied, revolutionary outlook, revolutionary thinking people. Now they question the existence of sovereign on the ground of the injustice or the unwelfaristic policies adopted by the state. So what you have to do in this topic, you have to narrate this story right from historical background. Ancient times से इसको start कर सकते हैं आप, और चूंकि यहाँ पे इंडिया कुछ लिखा तो है नहीं, तो ये ओपन है, तो एंशिएंट टाइम से ही आप वर्ल्ड ओवर के पर्सपेक्टिव इसको निकाल के लिख सकते हैं और इंडिया स्पेसिफिक एग्जांपल्स दे सकते हैं. सो एंशिएंट टाइम से मिडिवल टाइम में आप आएंगे, और मिडिवल टाइम में जब आएंगे तो शायद आपको ये टॉपिक बहुत ज्यादा रेलेवेंट दिखने लगेगा. Because the medieval time, of course, the state was more based upon the aspect of religion. So of course it was more of theocratic state in India than the sovereign state or democratic state in India. So of course when theocracy started ruling over the state, obviously in theocracy probably the sovereignty would not be even taking care of the issue of justice and welfare of the public at large at that particular point of time. So in medieval time, perhaps this topic becomes very relevant in that way. Then again, in modern time, you have to understand it in the context of colonial era. So the colonial era, when India was also colonized, Western world started colonizing entire world, including India and other parts of the world, because India was not the only victim of colonization. It was entire Southeast Asia, entire South Asia, entire South America, entire Africa was a victim of colonization. So in that way, of course, the same sovereign during the era of colonization, they were having interest in perpetuating injustice because of serving their own vested interest. So of course, you will explain that idea now in that way. They will come to the contemporary era. In the contemporary era, when you see the emergence of democracy and democratic values right from the time of the French Revolution to the American Revolutions, of course, you see the emergence of the ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity. You see the emergence of idea of democracy and constitution based rules in the world. Of course, with that, sovereignty also became highly responsible in terms of ensuring justice and welfare in the world. So this is how you have to relate it in the contemporary era also. This is what actually was to be done in this particular topic. So I hope now this idea is nothing. It is actually from same philosophical topic. I am trying to relate this topic of philosophical outlook to the contemporary or to the realistic outlook for all of us. How to understand this topic in our real world. This is what actually is the topic. And when you talk about the contemporary world, you have n number of examples to quote here. For example, let's say Naxalites. Now, Naxalites always question the sovereignty of a state, and they question it in the context of that they always claim The sovereign have only one interest, that is to perpetuate injustice. Therefore, they actually took up arms against state. So you have to ensure that, of course, a state today is now constitution rule-based state. It is not like theocratic state or autocratic state of medieval world. It is now a constitution-based state, rule-based state. So therefore, a rule-based state, constitution-based state cannot perpetuate injustice. That is what you have to explain in this particular topic. Is it clear to all of you or not? Fine. So this is what was supposed to be done in this topic. Coming to the next one is equally very interesting. Interesting, why? Because the next one you have to explain the idea of covenants without swords are nothing but words. Now see, covenants without swords are nothing but words. What does it mean? It means that if you, let's say, have a promise without any rule, regulations, and the laws, the promise are always meant to be broken. That we always say, promises are meant to be broken. Now that is the philosophical aspect of this topic. Covenants are basically the promises. So promises without the swords are nothing but words. So it means that if you don't apply, let's say, the legal rules or the contractual rules with the promises, perhaps there's always a chance to break down the promises by the promise makers. Now, in this context, only you have to explore this idea again across the world, because again it is nowhere identifying this idea to be written in the context of only India. So again, by citing a lot of examples from across the world, you can explain this idea right from the ancient time to the contemporary time. तो ancient time से लेकर contemporary time तक अभी पूरा ये idea आप explain कर सकते हैं इस context में. So what you are supposed to do, you have to explain that how this promises without swords also in the ancient time, in the medieval time, they were always meant to be broken by many of the peoples. You have a lot of examples from historical, you can say narrations, historical examples could be easily given over there. But at the same time, in the today's world, in the contemporary world, in the modern world, this actually has become a part of a normal, you can say, discourse, especially in the context of having an agreement between the two individuals or having an agreement between two countries or two, let's say, entities altogether. That is always we go for a covenant with the contractual promises and with the contract signed as per the law, and then only it becomes promises to be kept always. So the idea that you have to explain here is that in the context of this only, that what is the importance of contract in one's life, importance of contract in a country's progress, importance of contract in the United Nations progress also. So even if the United Nations, we can say, policies are there, programs are there, and if there's no one to execute it, no one to monitor and to execute it, and of course those promises and entire policies will remain only on paper. And why do we say that UN is also a toothless tiger? Why toothless tiger? Because the fact of the matter is UN has only peacekeeping force, or rather peacemaking force. UN cannot send a force to, let's say, Azerbaijan or Armenia to stop the war that is still going on in Azerbaijan and Armenia, that you all know. So why didn't UN should also get a force, international force? Why didn't we create international force to empower the UNO to stop war and to stop man-made crisis in entire world? So we have UN peacekeeping force, but we do not have UN warring force. Peacekeeping force is only to ensure peace in certain areas where the war has already taken place, not to fight against the warring community or the, let's say, the warring state or the warring, you can say, entity or establishment in any part of the world. So of course it is in that way UN is also a toothless tiger. So exactly, you had to explain this idea from different perspective, from Indian's perspective, a government of India's perspective, from the UN perspective, from the local perspective, etc. So in the same way, you also need to understand that why at the level of panchayat, why we have not gone for financial decentralization. Because again there, if you are empowering the panchayats without giving the financial decentralization, panchayats are going to be only acting as a puppet in the hand of the state government. Until that time, the promise that you made to the world, to the government of India, to the in fact people of India, that is what we are thriving for. We are thriving for self-government in this country. This will not be achieved unless and until you go for financial decentralization in this country. So that is again an example of covenants without swords are nothing but words. All right. So you have a lot of examples. I mean, आपके पास इतने सारे examples है कि आप लिखने शुरू करेंगे तो शायद इसमें 1000-1500 words से ऊपर आप भाग जाएंगे. So that's what actually you have to understand the topic, and then you have to start exploring the idea from every perspective that we have just, I have just shared with all of you in terms of how to explore the main body part. Okay, that was the idea. Then again, the next topic is equally interesting one, that is reasoning draw a conclusion, but does not make the conclusion certain unless the mind discovers it by the path of experience. So it simply means experience matters a lot for every human being and for everyone's life, in fact. Of course, your reasoning, your conclusion, they all perhaps will fail if you have not had the experience of that journey on yourself, in fact. And the best example to cite is here the entire lifespan of Lord Buddha. Entire lifespan of Lord Buddha was actually a learning experience that he learned out from his own experience of his journey of his life. So Lord Buddha's example can be cited very easily. Mahatma Gandhi's example can be cited very easily. And my experiment with truth of Mahatma Gandhi as a book needs to be quoted here also. Fine, that's not the only example. In fact, examples could be taken from anyone's life, any big personality's life, any big leader's life, even from the Martin Luther Jr. Now, his example can also be cited in the context of safeguarding the rights of the blacks in America. All right, so this is how you have to come out with these all examples in terms of exploring the idea of the issue of experience, that how your reasoning, which draws the conclusion but does not make the conclusion certain, it only becomes certain when you experience that. When you experience that, fine. So that is how experience matters a lot in anyone's life, and this through experience only the current society has to learn a lot of things, because that should be your orientation of this essay. The contemporary society of India and the world need to learn from the experiences of the great leaders, of the great, you can say, scholars in the past, experiences of even Hitler in the past, even Mussolini in the past, even Napoleon in the past. So of course these all their all lives have also been a great lessons for the contemporary generation. So this is how to explore this idea also further. Fine. Now see, I have not found any of your essay written on these three topics. मैंने देखा नहीं किसी ने भी तीनों टॉपिक से किसी एक टॉपिक को चुना है आप लोगों ने से. Maximum essay that you guys have written only on 2 topics, that is gender. There's a 4th one that I'm going to discuss now, and then the very first topic of section B, that is on sustainable development. Some of you, I think probably Amritansu's script I checked, where I found Amritansu had written over the issue of it's not the strongest species that survive, but also, yes, I have seen that, but also the most intelligent, the most responsive to change are going to survive. So I've seen that. So obviously the majority of the people over here, in fact 99% I would say, Amritansu essay in this particular section B is exception, because none of you have written in that way. The other topic than the issue of sustainable development in that way. So कहने का मतलब ये है कि 99% आप लोगों ने फोर्थ एसे या फर्स्ट एसे कोई चुना है। फोर्थ एसे इसलिए शायद आपको जेंडर एज अ वर्ड क्लिक कर गया हो, या आपको लगा हो कि वी आर वेरी कंफर्टेबल इन राइटिंग ऑन जेंडर एटलीस्ट। ठीक है, I agree on that. Of course, I just told you also that you have to go for writing more upon those areas which are very comfortable for you. So, Rohit, you have written also on New Deal. I have not checked that, so let me see that. Then I'll tell you exactly. Fine. Vikas has also written, so I'll have to see. But the majority of answers that I have seen, in fact, only on these two topics, that is gender one and then the sustainable development. So nothing wrong in that. I mean, I'm not pointing out that you have done a mistake in that. No, it's not wrong that. I mean, I just told you, in fact, wherever you have been comfortable with, you have to start with that topic only. There's nothing wrong in that. That's what you have to understand one thing clearly. Now, coming to this issue. When you attempt an essay, let's say this essay that most of you have attempted, gender interacts with other disadvantages to exacerbate exclusion from society. Now, this is a topic that you have to understand not only from the general perspective of how you interpret gender and what are the challenges in gender. Rather, this topic had to be also interpreted from the perspective of the issue that actually has been given over here. See, what is the issue given over here? Issue is that you have to bring out the intersectionality of this topic towards many other issues that is pertaining to gender in India. And what is that intersectionality? See, intersectionality simply means that how you are able to interpret gender from the perspective of caste, how you are able to interpret gender from the issues of disability, how are you able to understand gender from the perspective of even religion. So these all aspects are a part of your analysis, should be a part of your analysis of the topic that is given there in the fourth issue of your section A, list of essays. So let me give you a proper idea on that first and foremost. Whenever you attempt an essay, you should read the statement very clearly. And not only clearly, but also what you have to do, you have to underline the words that are very important in a given essay. Suppose you have chosen gender wala, तो करना क्या है? सबसे पहले gender interacts with other disadvantages to exacerbate exclusion from society. So it means that because of the issue of being a person as a disadvantaged person, and top of that, that person also having a particular gender which has also been discriminated. So once discrimination and disadvantage both attached together, how does it impact, or how does it let's say be interpreted in society, and how does it come out in society? So it actually exacerbates, that increases, exacerbate means it increases exclusion from society. तो एक तो पहले ही जेंडर है, वो अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है सोसाइटी में. जेंडर क्या है मैं भी बताता हूं आपको, उसमें भी इश्यूज है. दूसरा डिसएडवांटेजेस भी है, मतलब आप डिसएडवांटेज भी है सोसाइटी के अंदर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ योर कास्ट, religion, your physical ability, your maybe you can say the kind of society from where you belong to. So because of these all aspects also, you also have a problem of a disadvantage along with your gender, which is actually a social construct for you. So in that way, of course, both of them increases your chances of getting excluded from society. That is the topic that you are supposed to explain here. ठीक है? So अब इसमें करना क्या था? Let me tell you now. So I'm sharing with you one of the screens to Now see, so what you are supposed to do in this particular topic, you are supposed to first of all, of course, in your introduction only, you are supposed to not only express clearly that what you have understood from this particular topic, you had to express that of course gender itself in a given society is always seen from discriminatory position, and top of that, if that discrimination is clubbed with the disadvantages that has been inherited by that person, it actually increases that person's exclusion from society altogether. So this is what you are supposed to express in the very first sentence, that whether you have understood this topic or not, because it was not simple gender कि gender पे कुछ लिख के चले आना है. Maximum of you have done the same thing. I mean, I have not found in a single essay that has come out from this particular when it's a sentence only to express clearly that whether you have understood the topic clearly or not. Gender देख के ही आपने लिख दिया, of course gender के ऊपर ही बात करना है तो definitely कुछ ना कुछ मार्क्स तो आ जाएंगे, लेकिन जो टॉपिक जितना जो डिमांड कर रहा था, whether you were able to do that or not, that's why it is a very important issue. So here the point was that of course majority of you have done the same thing. You have not actually gone for of course relating it with that particular topic in such a manner the way it actually has been given in the topic. तो उसको एक्सप्लेन आपने नहीं किया है कि टॉपिक है क्या, क्या आपको समझ में आया कि नहीं आया, वो आपने एक्सप्लेन किया ही नहीं है. आपने सिंपल जेंडर के ऊपर बात करते हुए आप निकल गए. ठीक है, तो ये क्या होगा, इससे आपको एवरेज मार्क्स आ जाएगा, बिलो एवरेज भी आ जाएगा. 125 है तो शायद आपको अगर बहुत अच्छा लिखिएगा तो 60 आ जाएगा, 65 भी आ जाए, लेकिन जो 75-80 वाला जो बात है वो शायद नहीं है, क्योंकि आपने टॉपिक को सही से टच ही नहीं किया. तो इसलिए जब आप टॉपिक चूज भी करते हैं तो लैंग्वेज का बहुत बड़ा खेल होता है. तो लैंग्वेज को बहुत ही बारीकी से आपको पढ़ना है और आपको अंडरलाइन भी करना है कि आपके पूरे एस्से में इन सारे टॉपिक, इन सारे वर्ड्स के ऊपर आपने एक्सप्रेस किया हुआ है कि नहीं किया हुआ अपने टॉपिक के अंदर. तो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू. ठीक है, so on this basis you will have to first of all express yourself and then you can bring out any of the anecdotes in your introduction. आपके पास बहुत सारे anecdotes होंगे. मैं आपको कुछ बात बताता हूं कि जैसे कि मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं, मैथिली शरण गुप्त का कोट है, मैथिली शरण गुप्त का कोट है जो कि इकोनॉमिक सर्वे 2018-19 में भी कोट किया हुआ है. ऑलराइट, तो उनका कोट है कि अबला तेरी यही कहानी, आंचल में है दूध आंखों में पानी. ठीक है, अब सोचिए ये इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में भी कोट किया हुआ है. दैट इज अ पॉइंट दैट आई एम शेयरिंग विथ ऑल ऑफ यू. अब यही से इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में पूरा वुमेन स्पेसिफिक इश्यू को उठाया गया है. तो यू कुड हैव आल्सो गॉन फॉर द सेम पर्टिकुलर कोटेशन and then you have to, of course you have to write it not in Hindi. हिंदी में नहीं लिखना है, आपको लिखना है इंग्लिश वर्ड में ही. ये पूरे ABLA अबला वाला जो बात है, और फिर इसको इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट भी करना है नीचे ब्रैकेट में देके, ताकि अगर आपका स्क्रिप्ट कोई तमिलनाडु का टीचर पढ़ रहा हो तो उसको समझ में आ जाना चाहिए कि लिखना क्या चाह रहे थे. ऑलराइट, क्योंकि आपको तो नहीं पता ना कि आपके स्क्रिप्ट को कौन चेक करने जा रहा है. कोई केरला का स्कॉलर हो, कोई केरला का प्रोफेसर हो, या तमिलनाडु का प्रोफेसर हो, या कर्नाटक का प्रोफेसर हो. सो उसके लिए तो ये नायाब चीज आप लिख दिया आपने, उसके तो बेकार हो गया, कुछ काम ही नहीं करेगा, आपके फायदे में कुछ होगा ही नहीं. तो आपको ट्रांसलेशन लिखना होगा नीचे इंग्लिश में. ऑलराइट, सो वंस यू डू दिस एक्सरसाइज देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू गेट द एडवांटेज. फाइन, दैट इज द पॉइंट. Fine. Now see, just a moment. There's some important. Nikhil, are you there?
Yes, sir.
थोड़ा सा आप बात कर लीजिए, मैं इम्पोर्टेंट कॉल है, जस्ट वन मोमेंट.
ठीक ठीक. So students, how are you? Acha, let me little talk about our first of all on Anmol's paper. Anmol Jain. Anmol. Anmol, yes. Anmol, your handwriting is first of all really very good. I really like it. And the first of all, I'm talking about the good things. Your introduction part was really good. Means the way you carry with the topic, it is good one. You uh, underline the important things, it is also good. Now, one thing I want to tell you, uh, means we can, as our topic is on our sustainable development, as our topic was on sustainable development, so we have to link all the goals. Means we have 17 goals, so first of all we must know what are the 17 goals. So we have those goals on our tips. Even these goals are very important, because in goal score you can also link all these goals, and you can write these goals as example in your GS paper also. It will going to increase the visibility of your answer. Ultimately the score will going to increase. Another thing, means you can write down a few examples of also. Means what government of India did on to sustain these goals, or how government of India is uplifting on these areas. So such kind of things are missing in there. Otherwise your paper was good. Even I must also say that you have to work on your conclusion. Whenever the conclusion came na, we have to, as Amit sir already told you, that we have to divide our essay into three parts: introduction, body, and your conclusion. Now introduction is good. Now in body you have to mix up all those things. Means you have to work on India aspect, as well as you have to link on your world aspect also. So as you made this small paragraph, it is also good. Now while concluding the thing, you have to come up with the points. Means how what India can do in the future also. So such kind of things are missing. Otherwise your paper was good, and wishing you good luck to you. Ritka Ja, are you here? And even Anmol, you can do one thing. I had sent you paper. Just go through it. If you are facing some problem, you can talk to me. Ritka Ja. Ritka, your paper is good. I was really impressed. Means you had written all the 17 goals. It is really, really very good. But I feel that means you had linked all your goals till uh, sustainable goal number 7, means up to clean energy. Afterwards you miss all the things. Why? आपका बिल्कुल सही ग्रोथ में जा रहे थे आप. Ritika, you are not audible to me.
Sir, I couldn't find things to write.
So anyways, no problem. It is a very good topic. Means you have to go through this topic very thoroughly, and I will going to discuss things with you. And even this topic, as I told you, this topic is very good, because you can link these goals in your GS paper also. It is again a good one. Ruchi, as a first timer, your paper is good. We have to work on it. We need not to exaggerate our topic. We have to stick to our topic, as well as we have to move around. Means as I can say, means you have to move around your topic. Means thoda ज़्यादा access नहीं करना, otherwise things can be a good. If Amit sir permits me, I can start my topic. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me stop. Let me start. Okay, let me start. But I'm not a host. Hello, Amit sir.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
Sir, I thought that I must start with my topic. मैंने कहा
बस 2 मिनट में कंक्लूड कर दूंगा, फिर आप ले लीजिएगा.
No problem, sir. You can take your time.
So that's what actually I was talking to all of you, that we have to quote some quotations also, let's say in the context of gender, and a few of the very landmark studies done by, let's say, Amartya Sen. Now I don't know how many of you have read Amartya Sen, but you need to understand, when you're writing something on Indian society, especially in the context of either women or education or health, and if you're not quoting Amartya Sen, again you are missing out the very important dimension, or very important, you can say, value in your answer, or value in your essays, in fact. So Amartya Sen had given a concept of a missing girls. All right. So this concept of missing girl was given by Amartya Sen, and here he has very nicely explained about the idea of how the gender discrimination takes place in India and across the globe also, wherever there is a developing, or let's say the society which is highly conservative. Of course, this is what actually is the common problem, but definitely it is in the context of India. If you're writing something, you of course you have to include the Amartya Sen's theory of missing girls. Fine. So that is what actually was missing in almost all of your answers. I've seen the answers, not found any of your answers mentioning about Amartya Sen and his concept of missing girls. That is one thing that actually you committed a blunder. In fact, when you write an issue of gender, you're not mentioning this. Of course, examiner is going to not give you full marks for that. Then secondly, see, when you're writing something, again on gender, that what you have to do, that you will have to ensure that you need to include some of the international conferences and conventions regarding the gender empowerment. And here I again missed out that none of you had mentioned about the Beijing Declaration. Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action of 1995, a UN convention where India is also a signatory. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. Probably you may not have gone through the current affairs of last month, September I'm talking about. On 4th of September, this Beijing Declaration, I'm talking about 4th September of last month, in fact, 2020. On 4th of September in 2020, Beijing Declaration issue celebrated the existence of 25 years. So for last 25 years, they have celebrated the silver jubilee of their concept of Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action for Gender Empowerment or Women Empowerment in the world. India is also a member of this. It was a part of current affairs. And let me tell you, in 2020, in the mains, this question will be asked again, either in the essay or maybe in your optional paper 2 or maybe paper 3, where जहां भी इसको मिल जाए पूछ देंगे वो. नहीं मिले तो आप लिखिए, क्योंकि ये important है dimension. So see, there are few dimensions that was missing out in terms of while you explain about gender. And definitely, I just told you that in this essay, you were supposed to bring more of intersectionality of the gender discrimination in India. The gender discrimination in India actually increases because of this intersectionality of this problem, especially in the context of the caste, religion, the gender having the category of PWD, that is persons with disabilities. All right. So these aspects had to be brought out in your answer outrightly in terms of showing that how they are also disadvantaged. They have inherited disadvantaged because of their birth in a particular caste, birth in a particular religion, and birth with even the PWD categories, that is some disabilities as well. So because of that, top of that, they are already gender. Of course, it actually exacerbate their entire exclusion from society. So that aspect should have been there in your answer very clearly. Fine. And of course, when you explain about the factors behind this discrimination, because your essay should have been in a very organized manner. Organized manner means that what you're supposed to do, you had to structurize your introduction of this topic. Then in the main body part of the essay, you don't have to write in your essay introduction body part like this. मैं आपको समझाने के लिए लिख रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. essay के अंदर ये सब नहीं लिखना है आपको, ठीक है? So of course in the main body part you have to explain this particular issue of gender discrimination. Gender discrimination from the various perspectives, let's say from the historical, cultural perspective, that how it was historically, of course, inherited in the world, in India also, because this is again not mentioning about India. कहीं पे इंडिया लिखा नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए ये ओपन है. आपको थोड़ा इंडिया के भी एग्जांपल्स देने हैं, कुछ बाहर के एग्जांपल्स डालने हैं, ठीक है? So this is how you have to explain. Then of course you have to explain the social aspect, social factor behind this. You have to also explain even geographical aspect, how geography also influences this particular gender discrimination that way. Then you have to also explain the economic aspect, ecological aspect. Fine. So of course you will explain all these dimensions in the main body part. Fine. And you also explain, while explaining this all main body part, let's say if you talk about economic, you have to talk about agriculture, you have to talk about industry, you have to talk about, let's say, the tourism, services sector, etc. So this is how the structure should be there in your essay. So once you do this exercise, then you have to go for the conclusion. And in the conclusion, you have to write out the futuristic goal of women empowerment. All right. You have to write about not the futuristic goal, but also the solutions for women empowerment or gender discrimination should be eliminated. And the best solution is always, remember, you must remember it, that it is a mental disease. Let me tell you, gender discrimination is a mental problem. It is neither the social nor economic nor political. It is a mental, you can say, fixation that creates a problem for the women or gender issues in the world. So be it the richest or the most civilized country, most advanced countries, it does not mean that they do not have gender discrimination practices. It does not mean that they do not follow the glass ceiling effect against the women progress in the society. Even in the so-called highly capitalist society like America, even in America, the glass ceiling effect is so dominant that in the history of entire American democracy, there has not been a single incident that when a woman has become president of America. So you have the examples to quote here. So a country like America, which claims to be high on human rights, high on moral rights, high on women rights. So there again, the mental bottlenecks of Americans have not led the women to acquire the post of the president of America till now in the entire history of America of more than 300 years in that way. तो 300 साल में अमेरिका ने आज तक कभी women president नहीं दिया. So ये क्या दर्शाता है? It is simply indicating the mental bottleneck, attitudinal problem. So it is attitudinal problem that is basic cause of gender discrimination, nothing else. And this can only be changed through positive discrimination. Give more and more reservation to women. Positive discrimination in the society. And that's what actually is happening across India, across world also. Just a day before, even government of Punjab has declared that 33% of the reservation would be given to women in the government jobs in civil service of Punjab. So this is what you can do, provide education, because of these only education and positive discrimination are two biggest tools which can bring a change in the attitude of the society towards women. Fine, are you getting a point? So this should have been your analysis of the essay. ठीक है, सो मैंने ब्रीफली आपको बताया है कि ये सब चीजें मिसिंग थे आपके एसे में, सो आपको ये सारे बातें वहां डालने थे, आपको इसमें you have to bring all these dimensions, including even the political dimensions, which I missed over here. So all these dimensions were supposed to be brought into this essay, and then you have to go for a futuristic solution for the women empowerment, gender discrimination being eliminated in India and across the world outrightly over there. So this is how you can also bring some new aspects in your essay. Fine, that's what actually was the point. Fine. So see, this is what was supposed to be done in your essay. ठीक है, सो आई होप यस, सो सिडॉ वगैरह आपको सब लिखना था, ये मैंने सिंपल आपको एक आइडिया दिए हैं ताकि अब आप एक्सप्लोर कर पाए, क्योंकि देखिए होता क्या है, जब आइडिया कोई देता नहीं तो आप एक्सप्लोर नहीं कर पाते, ना ही आप सोच पाते उस डायरेक्शन में। इस इंट्रोडक्शन के बाद अब आप सोच पाएंगे, अब आप उस डायरेक्शन में काम कर पाएंगे कि यार मुझे अब एसए के ऊपर एक इंटरनेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव डेवलप करनी है, ना कि लोकल पर्सपेक्टिव, ना कि पर्सपेक्टिव फ्रॉम India's point of view. No, I have to think from the global perspective of a particular essay that I'm going to attempt in the examination. If at all there is not at all a specifically mentioned topic in the context of India, तो ये मुझे ensure करना है. Fine. So that's what actually was supposed to be done by all of you. Is it clear to you now? To all of you now? तो ये सारी बातें मैं आपको कहना चाह रहा था। अब आते हैं आगे कि जैसे कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, थोड़ा सा ऑफ कोर्स अभी बात तो करेंगे ही निखिल सर उसके ऊपर, मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ। COVID-19 does world need new deal for recovery? So of course it is primarily in the context of economic sense only. So economic sense में इसको explore करना था इस idea को, but definitely new deal can also be seen in the form of political sense, social sense, even in the context of science and technological sense, etc. Okay, one more point that I missed out, I have to explain this issue also. Whenever you write an essay, and especially in the context of solutions, never forget the role of mass media. Always remember the role of mass media has acquired enormous significance in contemporary world. And here the mass media does not only mean the print and the visual medias, but also the social media or social networking sites. So you must include in your solutions about the immense role of mass media in empowering any community or any particular section of our society. That is what you are supposed to do in your essay always. तो mass media का रोल कभी मिस नहीं कीजिएगा। मास मीडिया का रोल आप सोशल इश्यूज के आंसर्स में भी डालेंगे हमेशा और एसे में भी डालेंगे हमेशा, क्योंकि वो बहुत बड़ा चेंजिंग फैक्टर है सोसाइटी के लिए, इंडिया में चाहे वर्ल्ड ओवर में। That's what actually you were supposed to do. ठीक है? Now coming to this issue that this new deal. So of course in new deal you are supposed to write it in the context of the economic perspective largely, but at the same time you have to explore this idea also from the political, social, even the environmental perspective altogether, even the perspective of science and technology altogether. But definitely this new deal as a concept has been introduced in America for the first time after the impact of the great economic depression in 1929, 32 के आसपास ये चला था, और फिर उसके बाद न्यू डील का पॉलिसी वहां लाए थे रूजवेल्ट ने, तो उसके कारण अमेरिका का इकोनॉमी रिवाइव किया था और उसके साथ साथ यूरोपियन इकोनॉमी भी रिवाइव किया था। अब सवाल यहाँ ये है कि क्या कोविड-19 के बाद, कोविड-19 के इम्पैक्ट के बाद क्या पूरे दुनिया को फिर से एक नया न्यू डील चाहिए ताकि वो रिकवर कर पाए, क्योंकि पूरे वर्ल्ड ओवर में इकोनॉमी का डाउनग्रेडिंग हुआ है, इकोनॉमी जो है गिरा है, इंडिया का हो चाहे बाहर कंट्रीज का भी हो, सबका कहीं ना कहीं डिक्लाइन हुआ है, एक्सेप्ट लेट्स से चाइना इन दैट वे। चाइना का भी डिक्लाइन है लेकिन ऑफ कोर्स नॉट इन नेगेटिव सेंस। सो दैट इज वन एस्पेक्ट। द पॉइंट इज कि क्या वर्ल्ड को फिर से न्यू डील चाहिए, तो न्यू डील क्या था वो आपको समझना होगा पहले तो। न्यू डील वाज बेस्ड अपॉन 3R प्रिंसिपल, ठीक है, रिकवरी, रिफॉर्म एंड री इन्वेस्टमेंट। तो ऑफ कोर्स ये 3R प्रिंसिपल वाज देयर इन द न्यू डील, और वो प्रिंसिपल आज भी कितना हद तक लागू है उसमें आपको इसके ऊपर पूरा एक्सप्लेनेशन देना होगा इसके ऊपर. That is what the topic of this new deal. Coming to the next topic, that is, it is not the strongest species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. The idea is evolution of man. Up याद रखना है. Evolution of man. Why? Because man was considered to be the most intelligent in the entire planet because of their capacity of thinking, because of their cranial capacity. Because of that only they were called also as Homo sapiens and sapiens. So of course you need to understand that they survived not because of they were the strongest on the earth, even not because of also intelligent on the earth. Rather, man not only survived but became dominant on the earth only because of that they were responsive to changes. So as the climate changed, they also changed. As the environment changed, they also changed. So because of their responsive to changes only, they have been able to survive. That's exactly is the mantra of success for anyone's life as well. So you have to be flexible, yet you have to be always determined to act upon your objectives. So this is what actually is the mantra of success. So you have to explain it in the context of historical to geographical to, of course, to the current aspect of political, economic, and social context as well. And even in the context of, let's say, corona, the Wuhan virus. So of course, Wuhan virus has shown that no one is strongest, no one is intelligent. Wuhan virus has taught a lesson to the world that if you cannot change your behavior, your basic body postures and gestures, you will be, of course, you will be becoming a victim of this Wuhan or coronavirus. So what is the new normal? The new normal today is to always have mask, always maintain distance, and always keep washing your hands. That is the change. So someone who says that no, I am very powerful, let's say Donald Trump. The Donald Trump said initially he is very powerful and he is immune to coronavirus. क्या हुआ? हो गया coronavirus. Someone says that I am very intelligent, I will not be actually coming into the attack of coronavirus. क्या हुआ? जिन्होंने कहा सबको होता है और सबको हो भी रहा है, जो कहा कि हमको नहीं होगा, सबको हुआ और होगा in fact. So idea is, it is not about your intelligence, not about your strength or your power. It's all about whether you are able to adjust yourself with the changing scenario or not. So whether you are responsive to change or not, because of that one, you will be able to save yourself from coronavirus or Wuhan virus. And Wuhan virus is a perfect example to quote here. All right, that is the point. Then you have next one, that is there's nothing remotely sporting about sport that involve animal participants. Now this is a topic that was in news also because of the animal sports being banned by Supreme Court, and then finally our first Tamil Nadu government placed in the Supreme Court to allow the sporting activities in Tamil Nadu in terms of, let's say, bullfight. All right. Also in terms of Karnataka, the bullfight is also, bull race is also very famous. So in that context only this issue has been asked to you as a question. Fine. So this issue has to be written in the context of the protection of animal rights also. So animals should not be involved for your sporting and gaming activities because they also enjoy their own rights. So the way humans enjoy their rights, including the animals also have their own rights. Just for the sake of your fun, for the sake of your entertainment, you cannot use or you cannot exploit the animals. That's what actually you have to explain this idea in entirety in this particular essay. Okay? So that was the issue of essay altogether. So I hope this analysis would have given you enough of idea that how to approach essay now onwards. ठीक है, तो आज मैं इतना ही रखता हूं. अब थोड़ा सा जो essay आपने लिखा है उसके ऊपर जो मैंने फीडबैक दिया है आपने देख ही लिया होगा. ठीक है, तो उस फीडबैक पे थोड़ा सा काम करना है, and then of course we will have a personal interaction also with all of you regarding your performance and the feedback that I have been given to all of you. We can also interact personally. ठीक है, क्योंकि पर्सनल इश्यूज है, पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम्स है, पर्सनल कमेंट है, सो विल नॉट बी शेयरिंग इट विद द ग्रुप इन एंटायरिटी. ठीक है, तो हम लोग पर्सनली उस पर आगे चर्चा कर लेंगे। तो ये सारा स्टोरी रहा आपका एसे के बारे में करना क्या है। फिर अभी निखिल सर उस पर थोड़ा चर्चा करेंगे अपने टॉपिक पे भी, लेकिन मैं अब कंक्लूड कर दूं अपना इश्यूज। तो इस तरीके से एसेस में अब आपको काम करना है, ठीक है। तो एसेस के ऊपर आपको एक फेयर आइडिया अब हो गया होगा करना अब क्या है इसके अंदर। अब आप लिखेंगे दूसरा एसे तो उसमें और इम्प्रूवमेंट होगा, पक्का होगा, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, ठीक है। नाउ टुमारो वी हैव शेड्यूल्ड द टेस्ट ऑफ सोशल इश्यूज एंड इंडियन सोसाइटी, ठीक है। पहला जो टेस्ट होने वाला है जीएस का वो कल होगा, कल शेड्यूल है, कल 18 तारीख है, कल शेड्यूल है, ठीक है। So you can see that how many of you are prepared for tomorrow's test, and either tomorrow or after tomorrow, whenever you feel comfortable, you can write the test, ठीक है। और उसको लिखना है कि उसका भी डिस्कशन हम लोग ऐसे इलेबोरेटिव लेंगे पूरा हर इश्यूज का। तो टेस्ट के डिस्कशन के साथ ही आई बिलीव दैट ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द टॉपिक्स ऑफ योर जीएस वुड बी कवर्ड। सो अगर जीएस में अगर आप कुछ नहीं भी पढ़ पाए तो घबराना नहीं है, वो सारा टेस्ट के डिस्कशन के थ्रू सब कुछ कवर हो जाएगा, ठीक है। तो इस तरीके से आपका टेस्ट जो है पूरा सिलेबस ही कवर कर देगा अगले 80-90 दिन के जो भी गैप है उसके अंदर, ठीक है। तो टेस्ट के साथ जुड़ने से ये फायदा है कि सिलेबस तैयार भी होगा, और साथ साथ जो सिलेबस तैयार नहीं भी होगा एटलीस्ट आप डिस्कशन सुन भी लेंगे। तो आप मेरी बात मान के रखिए कि वहां आप एक अच्छा आंसर लेके आएंगे जो डेफिनेटली आपको क्वालिफाई करवा देगा इस एग्जाम को। ये गारंटेड है और ये टेस्टेड है, टाइम टेस्टेड है। तो इसको जिन्होंने नहीं किया है, जिन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं किया है, उनके लिए दिक्कत होता है कि जनरली टेस्ट होता क्या है मार्केट में कि टेस्ट लिखवा दिया, किसी से चेक करवा दिया और कोई फीडबैक, कोई ऐसा डिस्कशन वगैरह हुआ नहीं। तो भर के वो कमेंट कुछ कुछ लिख दिया, जनरल कमेंट उस पर टाइप कर दिया, वही कमेंट हो गया, उसी में मार्क्स हो गया। लोग सोचते हैं कि हम इससे सॉरी हम जनरल स्टडीज का टेस्ट लिख दिया है अब तो काफी अच्छा हो गया, एंड दे फील वेरी प्राउड दैट ओके 1000 लोगों ने लिखा तो मेरा रैंक था उसमें 200। इन सबसे कुछ नहीं होता है। ये बचपना जो है आपको भूलना होगा। ये कोई क्लास 12 और 12 का एग्जाम नहीं है कि 1200 में मेरा 200 रैंक आ गया तो आप आईएएस में भी आप 200 रैंक ले आएंगे। इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट, ठीक है। सो ये सब चीज भूल जाना है, ये सबसे मार्केटिंग का पॉलिसी है लोगों को बेवकूफ बनाने का। तो वही चल रहा है पिछले कितने सालों से, वो आपको पता है, मुझे पता है। तो उन सबसे बच के रहना है, ठीक है। और अपना परफॉर्मेंस अपने से भी इवेलुएट करना है और अपने टीचर से इवेलुएट करवाना बहुत जरूरी होता है, ठीक है। तो ऑफ कोर्स डिस्कशन के थ्रू एज आई एम ensuring और assuring in fact both that पूरा सिलेबस आपका कवर हो जाएगा। So even though if you are not able to read something because of paucity of time, so you should not be worried about that. You should worry about only one thing, that you should attend the discussion regularly. So if that is being done, then I believe that you will be able to understand and address the entire demand of the syllabus properly. Fine. So with this, I'm concluding today's session from my side. Now I'm handing over this issue, this mic or this platform to Nikhil sir. So he will also interact with you, and in that way, he will explain the issue, the topic, and of course, whatever issues that you will be having, he will also be trying to handle those issues. If you have issues regarding the technical issue, how to approach, how to write the answers, you can also, uh, let's say, interact with him. You can also ask from him. ठीक है? So आप इतना कर लीजिए, फिर मुझसे दोबारा मुलाकात होगी जल्दी ही, ठीक है? Then I'm handing on this mic. So Nikhil, now you can overtake this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, recording is going on your laptop, so need not to turn off.
No, I will not. I have to make you a what host.
Yes, sir. You have to.
Just a hold. Where are you, Nikhil? I'm unable to see you here. हुआ देखिए?
नहीं, sir. Sir, what you have to do? On my name, there are 3 dots are there.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
वहाँ पे क्लिक करेंगे तो मेक मी होस्ट आ जाएगा। नो, ठीक है, हो गया।
Okay, carry forward. Okay. Bye.
So, bye-bye. Good day. Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you people are doing well. Great, great, great. So, finally we are preparing for our mains. Great, great. Acha, see, I will not wait. I will not going to work on the means talk on how to write the essay. Amit already cleared each and everything in detail. I will going to talk on. I will going to talk on my topic, that is sustainable development, and I will going to talk on the content. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Students, the topic is very the good topic, as well as you can say general topic also, because this topic is now what I'm in news everywhere. Now topic say that India 2030 and sustainable development. Now let's split this word. We are talking about India 2030, means futuristic approach of India to achieve the sustainable development goal. So first of all, we must know about the sustainable development. If we are aware of this sustainable development, then we can link easily with India. Now for sustainable development, when I'm talking about the sustainable development goals, first of all, we must introduce this word. The sustainable development word kahan se aaya, kaise aaya? It means we have to talk about history. If I'm talking about history, so it means we can say that from Brundtland Commission, this word came. On Brundtland Commission, this word came. And after introducing that Brundtland Commission, the sustainable development, we can give a few lines on that thing. As well as we have to connect the same thing with our Earth Summit. It means 1992. With the help of Earth Summit 1992, we can come up with the Agenda 21. So, thoda sa brief we had given about your sustainable development and the Agenda 21. Now, then we have to move on. What is the sustainable development goal? We have to talk about these goals. First of all, what is the basic thing required in your GS examination? First of all, we must know about all these 17 goals. We must know about each and every goal of sustainable development. At least the name must be clear to us. So goal number 1, talk about, you can say, no poverty. Sustainable development goal number 2 is your zero hunger. 3 is your good health and well-being. 4, talk about quality education. 5, talk about gender equality. 6, talk about clean water and sanitation. 7, talk about affordable and clean energy. 8, talk about decent work and economic growth. 9th, talk about industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10th, talk about reduce inequalities. 11th, talk about sustainable cities and commodities. 12th, talk about responsible consumption and production. 13, talk about climate action. 14, talk about life below water. 15, talk on your life on land. 16, peace, justice and strong institution. 17th is partnerships for the goals. If I talk about all these 17 goals, or I must take this 16 goal, first 16 goal, they are the individual goal, and 17 is the combination of all these goals. So first of all, हमें ये नाम याद करना जरूरी है. So there is one suggestion from my side: read and write these goals twice. उससे क्या आपको याद हो जाएगा. ठीक है? Now it means after introducing our topic, what we did, we had introduced these goals also. सिर्फ introduction हल्का सा. As well as we have to talk about the sustainable development theme. Sustainable development themes talk about 5 P's. These are people, planet, prosperity, people, and partnership. Now, why we are talking about sustainable development? Why we are talking about? Because we know that we have only one planet. That is planet Earth. We have only one planet. To save this planet from conventional source of energy, we are moving towards our non-conventional source of energy. इसी का नाम तो sustainable development है. That we have to use our resources in such a manner that it should be available for future generation. On that basis, we can also include our conventional source of energy, and we can explain this little about what are the conventional source, non-conventional source of energy we have with us. Okay. Now, this is our introduction. Now coming on to main part, that is, we have to link India with sustainable development. So we have to say that how India can contribute to sustainable development program or sustainable development goal. So what we can do, we know that we have 17 goals. Sir, 17 goals somewhere. So on basis of these 17 goals, we have to link each and every goal with India. यही हमारी आर्ट रहेगी. If we able to link these goals with India's development or initiative, government of India's initiative, our work is done. Let's talk about goal number 1. That is no poverty. Means sir, आपको poverty को remove करना है. So if I talk about remove poverty, first of all we must know about some of the facts. Some facts means global fact, India's fact means world level पे percentage of the percentage of the people who are below poverty line. India में क्या है? So such of the facts we can come. We can discuss means India में poverty है तो means how to remove it. Means such, first of all we are coming with the fact and how what India is doing to overcome such kind of problem. So we have to come up with the initiative which were taken by government of India. With on this, what we can do, we can easily connect the government of India schemes or government of India initiative to reduce the poverty in India. Like we can say what we government of India came with your Manrega, so we can connect Manrega with it. We can talk about national livelihood mission. We can talk about housing for all. So इसकी help से क्या means we can go with such kind of thing. We can talk means how to reduce it. Such kind of thing we can do. Even if I talk about goal number 2, goal number 2 say that zero hunger means we are talking about that we have to reduce hunger in our country, as well as it means we have to first of all talk about the global hunger index. If we are aware of global hunger index, ये सब चीज जरूरी है. देखो see, if you are aware of these 17 goals ना, तो easily the things can easily be managed. ये आपके 17 goals बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करेंगे आपके सारे पेपर्स के अंदर. What we can do, we can talk about the hunger index. Even what is the situation in India and what government of India did. What government of India did. You can come up with a few examples like our Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. What he did, he asked for he asked the Indians to go for a fast for one day to preserve the food for our future generation. Even what we can talk on the green revolution. The green revolution government of India did, and now what government of India is doing, government of India wants to extend the green revolution to eastern states also. So such kind of things we can talk means we can talk about our workforce, means such kind of things we can talk. Now after the talking on these things means हमने एक base prepare कर दिया zero hunger का भी. Now what government of India is doing, how they know that most of their population is living below poverty line. So what government of India is doing to overcome such kind of thing? They came up with your public distribution system. Means they are coming with the schemes. They are providing the rice, they are providing the, you can say, pulses to the poor people. Are you all with me or not? Chandan, I think you are okay. Means we can talk on your midday meal. We can talk about your public distribution system, as well as we can talk about the government of India initiative, like to reduce the poverty, or you can say to reduce the zero hunger. What they are doing, they come up with your midday meal scheme in the schools. At least midday meal scheme से क्या है, तो हमारे alternative solve हो रहे हैं, education as well as food. Because of this food, the poor people or poor children are coming to the school. I mean, such kind of thing you can connect. Such kind of things you can connect. If I talk about goal number 3, that is your good health and well-being. It means we are talking about the mortality rate. You can easily connect the history also. Means in 1940 or 1950, the you can say average age of Indian was somewhere around 36 years. But in today's scenario, means as per 2011 census, the average age of Indian is somewhere around 64. So it means we can say that we are working on it. हमने mortality rate को इंडिया में कम कर दिया है. The age is also increased. So what are the initiative taken by government of India? We can talk. means we can talk that how the government of India able to reduce the maternal mortality rate and what is the status of child mortality rate. So we can write on these things and what are the initiative taken by government of India. Like we can talk about pulse polio, we can come up with this such kind of things. तो इससे क्या है वो आपको पूरा बेस बन जाएगा, ठीक है. As well as we can say that how Indian government is working on, you can say, open defecation. The government of India came with the Darwaja Band, means you can give the example of a movie Toilet जो अक्षय कुमार के थ्रू आई थी. means how government of India is working on Ministry of Ayush. So such kind of things we can add so that एक आपका flow भी बनता रहे and सब चीज रहे. And why I'm telling you all these things, because all these things make your essay life, all these things make your answers life, so that examiner पढ़ना चाहे आपके आंसर को, क्योंकि जहां पे एग्जामिनर का फ्लो टूटा मींस वो क्या इग्नोर कर देगा, बिकॉज एग्जामिनर विल नॉट गोइंग टू स्पेंड टू मच ऑफ योर टाइम. जो भी आप आंसर आप लिख रहे हैं, जैसे आपने गोल नंबर 3 की बात की तो गोल नंबर 3 को अंडरलाइन कीजिए, इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड्स को अंडरलाइन कीजिए, गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स को अंडरलाइन कीजिए. तो मींस एग्जामिनर का फोकस वहीं जाएगा, वो कहेगा कि बच्चे का आंसर डिफरेंट है सबसे, तो you will get the extra marks. So in the same way we can talk about all the initiative government of India taken in the sector of health, like Mission Indradhanush, Janani Suraksha Yojana, National Health Policy, such kind of thing we can include. Let's talk about your goal number 4, that is your quality education. Now in this we can talk about the, you can say, literacy rate first of all of India. The literacy rate, you can divide your rural and urban literacy rate. You can talk about the dropout from the schools. So such kind of things you can add. And what government of India is doing, to attract them. Just as you can see over here, it is said that 86.2 that global literacy rate in over the world is your 86.2%, but 63.71 million children remain out of the school. तो means ये सब है, तो means इसको overcome करने के लिए government of India ने क्या किया? We can talk about means after coming up of the reservation policy, after coming up of the right to education policy, the enrollment rate as well as literacy rate in India is increased. So such kind of things you can talk. You can also give the live example like what government of Delhi did. They had worked on education sector, how they improved it. तो इन सब पे हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं. If I talk about your goal number 5, that is your gender equality, it means we are talking about male and female discrimination. We can talk on your male and female discrimination. As we are talking about male and female discrimination, we have to talk on all the aspects. We have to talk on your sexual violence. We have to talk on the, as Amit sir ने बताया कि Punjab government said that they will going to reserve 1/3 seat for the women. So we have to talk on this thing. We have to talk on your Panchayati Raj. Panchayati Raj में 1/3 seat reserved है, but लोक सभा में अभी तक नहीं है. So hardly 11%, or you can say 12 or 11 seats are there with women who are holding your Lok Sabha. So such kind of things we can talk. We can talk on the sex ratio. We can talk on the sex ratio. We can talk on the workforce. We can talk on the equal pay for equal work. Means such kind of thing we can talk. Even we can link global gender index. Means gap है, India की rank बताइए. We can talk on the Iceland. Means Iceland has your highest rank with respect to your gender discrimination, gender gap index. Even we can discuss about the India. We can compare India with other countries. Okay. Now to reduce this gender discrimination, our government of India is doing. They are coming with a lot of initiatives like Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, maternity benefit program. In this, they are saying that they are providing the 6 months salary. Even the ministry, that government of Bihar came up with your Mukhyamantri Balika Cycle Yojana. In this, they are saying that the girl child who is studying in school, after entering your 9th or 10th class, they will give them the bicycle. Means such kind of schemes जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने किया है, इनिशिएटिव है, इन सबको हम लोग एग्जांपल्स में डाल के हम लोग को आंसर को लाइव बना सकते हैं. बिकॉज यू ऑल नो द बेस. मैंने आपके आंसर्स पढ़े थे. मींस यू आर राइटिंग गुड, बट हाउ टू इंक्रीज आवर स्कोर? वी हैव टू इंक्रीज आवर विजिबिलिटी. तो ये एग्जांपल्स लिखिए, अंडरलाइन करिए, एग्जामिनर को लगेगा हाँ बच्चे ने सही पकड़ा है. इवन वी कैन कनेक्ट What we can connect? We can connect our quality of education with gender equality. As we are connecting to, we can say that if both these goals are we are able to achieve, it means we are able to achieve zero poverty, we able to achieve good health, well-being, decent work, even industry, innovation, infrastructure, and reduce. We can reduce even the inequalities all around. We can talk about goal number 6, that is, you can say, clean water and sanitation. When we talk about clean water and sanitation, we can talk about the pipe water. We can talk about our drinking water. It is said that globally 2.6 billion people have gained access to improved drinking water since 1990, but still 666 million people are still are missing with this thing. We can talk about the status of drinking water in India. We can talk about what is the status in your rural area. We can talk about the urban areas. As you can see over here, 18% of rural household have pipe water supply. Means बाकियों के पास pipe water supply नहीं है. Means they are traveling a distance to fetch the clean water. We can compare these states, as you can see over here. See, Assam में hardly 2% people has a pipe water. Chhattisgarh 9%, Goa 78%, Gujarat 79%, Sikkim 99%. Means we can compare. Now, as we are talking about clean water and sanitation, you can give the example that government of India is coming with your wastewater treatment plant. Government of India, what they did, they come up with your clean Ganga project. Means such kind of things we can add. As well as Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we news में भी था कुछ time पहले. So means we have to connect. Coming on to goal number 7. Goal number 7 talk about our clean energy. Clean energy, it means we are talking about means how to preserve our resources. Means we are shifting from conventional source of energy to non-conventional source of energy. In this, India is honored. Why? Because we are saying that at least 300 days we are getting the sunlight. So India can use the sunlight for generating electricity. That's why government of India came with with the initiative, that is, you can see international solar lines. As well as what we have geothermal energy, Fuga Valley in your Jammu Kashmir and many other areas. Means in different areas we have this geothermal energy, so we can make use of it. Even we can talk about when we talk about in this we can also talk about the government of India came with the target that they will going to generate 175 gigawatt of electricity via your non-conventional source of energy like solar, wind, biomass, as well as hydropower. Now, as when we talk about hydropower means we are talking about dam. Dam is coming under your conventional source of energy, because for the establishment of dam, what we are doing, we are destroying our environment. But what we can do, we can come up with your small hydro projects. Himalayan states को use कर सकते हैं हम लोग. Small hydro projects में you can write some examples of Himalayan states. Even we can talk about the canal top. We can talk about the solar power plants in Rajasthan area. We can talk about windmill projects. You can give example of Narmada River and what government of India is planning in context of canal top. You can write these things. इससे क्या है आपका आंसर और legitimate बन रहा है. Even we can talk about that India has your long coastal line. So this long coastal line can be used for generating electricity with the help of floating windmills, tidal power plant. Such kind of things we can add. As well as we can connect with the world also. I mean, this floating windmill plant was first set up in Norway. Means now it is spreading also. Means government of India ने recently floating windmill plant का project किया है, they are establishing this project in your Gujarat coastal area. Such kind of thing we can add. Even we can talk about waste to energy plant. Means such kind of thing we can add. Now when we talk about goal number 8, that is your decent work and economic growth. It means how we can generate the work. And if we are generating the work, it means we are uplifting our GDP. How we are uplifting our GDP, we have to come up with the with the those points. Means we can talk about labor force. We can talk about our unemployment. So unemployment hai, so how to reduce it? We have to talk on it. We can compare our informal and formal sector. And informal sector में अगर major आपकी labor force है, so what are the rules and regulation? So we have to talk on these things. Even we can talk on means to improve the decent work standard. The government of India come up with the Ministry of Skills and National Skill Development Mission. They can talk out. We can talk on stand up India. It may in that we can talk means we are providing the loans to the females as well as to the SC STs so that they can work on your greenfield projects. Such kind of examples we can add. Even if I talk about the industrial innovation and infrastructure, we can talk means how government of India is working on their industrial sector. Means as well as we can talk about the research and development. Means what was the means what was the spending by government of India in our research and development. I had written also the spending on research and development. India spent hardly 0.7% of its GDP in research and development. If we compare with BRICS country, means Brazil 1.3, Russia 1.1, China 2.1, South Africa 0.8, means India ka piche hai. Means we have to increase our investment in our research and development. Even what we can talk about how when we are talking about industry, innovation, infrastructure, we are also talking about our internet subscriber. We are saying that we have less internet subscribers. Now to increase the internet subscriber, what we have to do? Government of India came with some scheme like fiber copper. They are coming up with a scheme like Bharat Broadband Network Limited. We can also talk about the Make in India, Made in India. We can talk about the Easy Credit, which is available to the small scale industries to uplift their business. So such kind of thing we can talk. We can also, when we talk about goal number 10, that is our reduce inequality. When I talk about reduce inequality, we have to talk on the poverty on basis of multi-dimension. Means we can talk means overall literacy rate. We can talk on the fact that somewhere around 283 million people are illiterate in India. We can talk about you can say means the poor has no rights. Even we can say that richer has more right. Even we are saying that our country is our democratic country, but still lackness is there. We can easily talk about means the poor is not accessible to the hospitals. Health में accessible नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि private hospitals में means they are much costly. So what government of India must do? As they fix the 25% of seats for the economic weaker section in the schools. So same way, government of India also did in the same thing in the hospitals also. So such kind of examples we can come. When we talk about goal number 11, that is sustainable cities and accommodations. Now we know that sustainable cities and accommodations, it means we are talking about a population. Means we are talking about the urban area. We know that if I compare with India, let's compare with India. In 1950, as you can see in this graph, in 1950, hardly 15% of people are living in your urban area, and at the same time, somewhere around 85% of people are living in your rural area. But as time passes, the people started migrating from your rural to urban area. Why? Because of push and pull factor of migration. Now, as per 2020, we can say that somewhere around, as per the recent statistic of 2011, somewhere around 31% of India's population is residing in your urban area. 31% of population is residing in your urban area. As population is residing in your urban area, it leads to some of the problems. Like we can discuss your slum problem, environmental degradation problem, we can say. And as per the recent study, it is said that by 2025, India require new 500 cities to accommodate this large population in urban area. Otherwise, every city will become your slum. You can discuss future also. Means by 2050, by 2040 or 45, that more than 50% of population will going to live in your urban area. Means such kind of things we can connect. Are you all with me? The same thing you can connect with the sanitary, you can connect with the other problems of the urban areas. Means what we have to do now, we require a smart city also. So for smart city, what we have to do, we can give example of Amravati. Government of India already declared that Pune will going to become the smart city. Hyderabad, means we can come up with those names, those facts also. We can also come up with one more problem, that urban area major problem is your waste. So India, a small country with large population, we do not have much land. So where we can dispose that waste? Again, the landfilling is there. So what we can go? We can go with your waste to energy point. As you can see in this graphic, are you able to see this thing in your on your screens? Waste to energy plant. Okay, take it. Thank you. ठीक है. Okay. When we talk about your goal number 12, it means we are talking about sustainable consumption and production. Means we are talking about means as we have a large population, we have to accommodate this large population. As we have to accommodate this large population, we have to come up with more production. For production, we require more water. It is said that as the population is increasing, as per the World Water Council report, that world require 40% of more food to accommodate with this coming up of a new population. Means आपकी population increase हो रही है, तो आपको क्या चाहिए? आपको production बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, but as well as consumption भी करना पड़ेगा sustainable. Because if I talk about the wastage part, it is said that Americans are ahead in your wastage. It is said that 80 billion of food was thrown by American every year. Means कितना हम लोग food waste कर रहे हैं. We have to talk on that thing. Are you getting my point? So in that we can talk about solid waste management tool also. We can talk about your e-waste, biological waste, hazardous waste, such kind of thing we can add. Coming on to your goal number 13, that is your climate action. When we talk about climate action, we all know about this thing. Means we can easily link the forest area, the deforestation. Even we can link the same thing with our Amazon forest. We can link with our Australian forest. We can link with our California forest. So means ये सब क्या है? एक climate action के सब है. The climate is changing. So we have to connect in such a way. We can connect the India's forest cover and what government of India is doing to overcome such kind of situation. We can discuss our climate meetings, Paris meeting, Copenhagen's. तो ये सब चीजें हमें connect करना पड़ेगा. When we talk about the goal number 14, that is your life below water. It means we are talking about our fisheries part, marine life. We are talking about. Now we know that when we talk about this fishery part, or you can say the life below water, we are talking about fishes. We also know one more thing, that now a time this oceans or sea, they are becoming the platform for your waste. They are becoming your platform for your waste. Even it is said that there was one study. That study said that the amount of the waste part we have in our oceans, it is equivalent to the size of France. It is equivalent to the size of France. As well as we can connect all the problems. As you can see in the picture also, you can connect. We can easily connect. Means our species are also suffering. So to overcome, we can also connect with our oil spills. Oil spill की problem discuss कर सकते हैं. To overcome such kind of situation, what government of India is doing, and what we are doing at your world level, we have to connect each and everything. Even we can give example of a turtle sunset that was established in your Allahabad region. We can connect. We can talk about your blue revolution. We can talk about the integrated national fisheries action plan. We can connect on these things. Even if I talk about the goal number 15, that is your life on land, it means we have to talk about our forest area. We have to talk about our species. Now we have to talk about the illegal hunting. In such kind of point we have to link. Now what government of India is doing to overcome such kind of thing, that you can say government of India come up with your project tiger, project elephant, project crocodile. So such kind of points we can add. Coming on to goal number 16, that's your peace, justice, and strong institution. It means here we are talking about the you can say the justice. We are talking about here. We are talking about the justice. In that we can connect the world also, India also. Means we can talk about the number of pending cases in India. We can talk about the human trafficking problem. We can talk about the, you can say, crime rate in India. So we can connect with the same thing. So what government of India is doing, what we are doing, in this you can connect the United Nations peacekeeping force जो भी sir ने बताया था. We can also connect the asylum wala part. Dalai Lama is taken asylum. We can even connect the you can say refugees part. Since Rohingyas are living in the refugees camp. Even we can say that United Nations उनके लिए क्या क्या कर रहा है. We can connect all those things. Even if I talk about India, we can talk about the grievances portal like Pragati platform we have, which is acting as a public grievance redressal system. We can talk about the judiciary is integrating with your Gram Nyayalayas. In such kind of thing we can add. Coming on to last, that is your partnership of the goal. Partnership of goal means we need to link all these goals. As we have to link all these goals, what is the basic requirement we require as a developing country? We require money, we require technology. ये हमारा point conclusion में बहुत बड़ा role play करेगा. We require money, we require, you can say, technology. So for that, what we have different organizations like BRICS, New Development Bank established. You can say we can talk about SAP, we can talk about World Bank. So means in such a way we can cover this our topic. And at last you can come up with the conclusion. We can conclude that we have only planet A, Earth. There's no plan B. So we have to preserve it. How to preserve it? You can add. Is this thing is clear to you? That is all from my side. I think the visibility of the essay also increased. Rohit, if anybody can open his mic, his or her mic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Done, bachcha log?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all the best to you for your next essay and next paper. So I will suggest you one last thing. Dekho, we can easily write our answers if we have a little knowledge and if we able to link our things with surroundings. क्योंकि एग्जामिनर को कोई हार्ड वर्ड्स नहीं चाहिए. आपके लिए भी इजी क्या है? इजी एग्जांपल्स. तो एग्जामिनर्स के लिए भी इजी एग्जांपल ही है. एग्जांपल्स, कोट्स, ये आपकी विजिबिलिटी इंक्रीज करते हैं. देखो, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि हमें कोट्स हमेशा याद रहे और कौन सा कोट कहां लिखना चाहिए भी डिफिकल्टी है. बट एग्जांपल्स वी कैन इजीली मेक. एग्जांपल्स इंक्रीज योर विजिबिलिटी. ठीक है, let's wind up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good night to all of you and give your best. Bye bye. Thank you. You all can leave. Ruchi, things are clear to you? Nishant, things are clear to you? Can we write the better answer? I think now you can enhance your answer next time. Chalo bacha. Bye bye. Good day.